Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. It is the Peach State 225 presented by the Porsche Club of America and the Peach State region. I'm Greg Ginsburg, along with Brian Donati and Dick Kelson, and we're going to bring you all the racing action here this weekend. We've got some sprint races on board for you. We've got some endurance racing on Sunday, and want to thank you all for joining us here this weekend. And Dick, great to see you once again. Of course, you were with us down at Sebring, and glad to see you once again here at Road Atlanta.
You never know when you might find me.
And Brian, thanks for joining us as well here. Good to see you as well.
Good to see you guys here. I'm really excited to be here for this, and I can't wait to get this thing going.
That's right. And so let's quickly, we'll give you a little bit of a breakdown on what action we're going to be bringing you here today. We've got two different sprint groups. We've got our yellow sprint group as well as our purple groups. The yellow group out on track right now for their qualifying session. And then we're going to have a qualifying session for our purple group. Our yellow race will be just a little bit later today, scheduled to start at 2:30 this afternoon. That'll be followed up by our purple sprint race as well. Tomorrow, we're going to have very much the same schedule. We'll be bringing you the action starting about 10:40 tomorrow morning with racing all day with two sprint races for both our yellow groups and our purple groups. And then on Sunday, we'll have a sprint race and an endurance race. Action starts right around 9:20 on Sunday morning. All right, so as we get underway, we've got a number of racers out on track right now. We've got our GT3 class, our J class, Spec Cayman, which we have a very large Spec Cayman class here this weekend. Currently 10 drivers out on track. Spec Boxster, we've got 9 drivers here putting in times. We've got our Spec 997 classes and a number of other classes as well. Looks like we've got a nice turnout in GT3 this weekend, as well as the F and G and I classes here. And again, this is a qualifying session. The qualifying session scheduled to run just about 20 minutes. And we've got our drivers on their very first flying laps.
I tell you what, Greg, this is going to be pretty good. Again, 16 different groups in this yellow group. So, again, you've got to make sure that you get spread out enough to get that qualifying lap. It's all about getting as much as you can, as early as you can, with this many cars out on the racetrack.
Indeed. And so we didn't mention this, but Dick, beautiful weather here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. The temps have actually dropped a little bit in the last couple of days. We're running like right around 60 degrees with no humidity.
Yes, we're fortunate. We had a lot of rain last night locally, but looks like the weekend is going to be perfect. Always a good thing.
All right, so we've got some of our first times coming in. First drivers across the line, we've got John Dunsky. Dunsky driving a GT3 Porsche Cayman S, a 2006 Porsche Cayman. And he is, as I said, first across the line, puts in a time of 1:38.570. We do have a number of our Spec Cayman drivers coming in. Fastest at the moment, Eric Yortsoy in the number 321 2006 Porsche Cayman S. He turns in a time of 1:38.845. Matt DiStefano at a 1:37.013. Scott Gill at a 1:36.958. And you know why I'm looking at this as the times that they came across the line. So Scott Gill, our fastest Spec Cayman driver at the moment, with a 1:36.958. Then DiStefano. Then Patrick James at a 1:37.668, with Michael Venable with a 1:38.024. Those top 4 drivers separated by only 1 second, with Wahid Chahadi another 0.4 of a second back from there. He rounds out your top 5 in Spec Cayman. In Spec Boxster, we've got Rob Walker with our fastest lap time at the moment. Rob Walker, the 1:43.51, and hopefully we'll have some in-car video from Rob at some point this weekend. Sean O'Brien in the number 441 1999 Boxster, our second fastest driver, about 8/10ths back from there. Then Tim Nagy, your third fastest spec Boxster driver with a time of 1:43.119.
You know, Greg, with 20-minute session here, it's going to take about a good 5 to 10 minutes, and you can see here as they come up over the hill out of turn 3 down into the S's here, you're seeing a couple cars getting a little sideways there coming out of there. You've got to get that, you know, that spread out, just as I was talking about. It's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes for these guys to really get some good heat in the tires, looking at earlier morning times during their warm-up. So give them a couple more laps here. I think the times are going to come down, but again, you've got to spread out as much as you can.
All right, so going to the top of the leaderboard in GT3 now is Charles Liu. In his GT4 Club Sport Cayman, puts in a time of 1:37.926, about 0.65 of a second up on Dunsky. And then we've got Rafael Serralta. He's a couple seconds back from there, just turned in a 1:42.232. Again, only his second flying lap. So we'll see if he can pick up the pace here in just a little bit.
Again, Greg, we've talked about this racetrack many, many times, and especially here this afternoon, that you're going to see, and definitely when we get into the races, coming down through that start-finish line, really kind of working up the lap here, getting up into turn 1, you've got to get as much in there as you can. You got to kind of blind uphill to turn 2. If you've never been here, that can get a little bit tricky as well, especially during the qualifying. Then when you get up at the top of the hill there in turn 3, you got to get as much curbing as you can. You saw that when we were looking at the video where you had 2 cars trying to go for the same spot, even though it was in qualifying. Then you've got the long downhill through the S's. You've got a short uphill into turn 5, and you've got to get through that little short chute as quickly as you can and carry as much speed as you can into turn 6, because you have the short chute between 6 and 7. Then it's really important to get into turn 7 without losing the front end of these cars. And you're going to see it later on when our purple group comes out, because you've really got to have that drive off down the backstretch. It's a long downhill backstretch getting into 10A. When you get into 10A, that's a heavy braking zone and a heavy passing zone. We have seen that constantly throughout this racetrack. Then it's back on the power as much as you can, and you want to try to stay full throttle. These drivers need to stay full throttle coming through 11 and 12 back to the start-finish line, and that checker flag, that's going to be the ultimate lap right there.
Yeah, indeed, Brian. I mean, this is, and Dick, I'm sure and you've been calling races here for Porsche Club for Peach State for many, many years. This is one of those really old school tracks. It came online in 1970. So you think, well, in the whole scheme of things, it's certainly a lot newer than a Road Atlanta, Road America, or tracks like that. But this track, it's got concrete walls, seemingly just feet away from the track surface, and a lot of the corners here, they're either blind or, more than anything else, just intimidating to drivers. That last corner, turn 12, coming down the hill, which we see racers now coming down, you don't necessarily see the elevation in this camera shot, but the drop is about 65 feet, and as you come down, to your left is a concrete wall that, is just begging you not to put your right foot down, not to hit the throttle.
Yes, and the speed coming down there is almost to the level when it was the olden days when the dip was still there.
Right.
When you came flying over. The speeds are getting closer to what they were then.
Indeed. And so the dip, as we've got a driver that is off on the exit of turn 1, and he'll try to make his way back up there a little bit, trying to gather speed as we've got a local caution coming through turn 1. There is our driver. We'll see if we can get the number on that machine as he makes his way back, and we'll try to reset and put in another flying lap. So what Dick was alluding to was in the turn 10A and 10B section, right here, where we have now this chicane, this downhill heavy braking zone that leads you through this quasi-chicane that brings then back up a hill to that final bridge and sends you down towards turn 12. that chicane was not there when this track was originally built. The track came more diagonally. It dropped down, and then it raised back up, but it was still pretty much full throttle for most people as they came up to the bridge, and then they had to basically find a way to scrub off speed to come down the hill. And in many cases, over the years, the way they scrubbed off speed was by having the rear end step out, and they just rolled down the hill.
And that was not the recommended
No,
way.
certainly not. That they called it the gravity cavity. It was called the dip. It was called any one of a number of different things, but intimidating was probably the biggest one here. And this section of the track also here, as they come over the crest to turn 3 and start to head through these downhill S's. We saw Dick in our coverage at Virginia International Raceway a couple weeks ago, the uphill S's, which are very challenging and can cause the rear end of a car to move around like a pendulum. But here, you come down, you've got that the exact same feeling here as the car wants to understeer, switch between understeer and oversteer. And then as you rise back up to here, the entrance of turn number 5, it's a blind entrance and a blind exit.
Yes.
And what you have here, it looks like you got tons and tons of room here, but behind the wheel of the car, typically what you have is that wall on driver's right. On driver's right.
Yeah, the visual is not encouraging there particularly.
Indeed. All right, so going to the top of the leaderboard in the GT3 class now is John Dunsky in the number 447 Porsche Cayman. Dunsky, who is racing here in his 7th year with PCA, has the track record in SP2 at Daytona, and finished both 2nd and 3rd in the national championships in SP2, and he's now moved over to this Porsche Cayman, which was built by Mantis Autosport a couple of years ago. Charles Liu only 0.6 of a second back with a 1:36.046. If we take a look at the I class, Sam Amano is currently our only racer here. He's in a newer Cayman, a 2014 Porsche Cayman, just crossed the line at a 1:37.908 in the G class. Michael Gershon with about 0.4 on James Clemens. Gershon just turned in a 1:37.5. In Spec Cayman, Matt DiStefano turns in a 1:36.842, and Brian DiStefano's only got 85 thousandths of a second. Talk about close racing here. 85 thousandths of a second on Michael Venable, who has 17 1,000ths on Patrick James, who has 14 thousandths of a second on Scott Gill. Our top 4 drivers separated by 11 hundredths of a second.
Yeah, I tell you what, Greg, and they are much faster, obviously, than they were in practice this morning. When I looked at some of those times, they're dropping almost 1.5 seconds from their practice times this morning. And now you look at this, and now Eric Yortsoy, he's going to go to the top of the list of that Spec Cayman group with that 1:36.348. Just did that on his 7th lap. Looks like DiFestano is pulled in. Looks like he's done after 4 laps. Happy with that time. So, Greg, when we get to this yellow sprint group, when they come back for their sprint race, we're going to have some really good battles.
Purple group to the grid for your qualifying. Purple group to the grid for your qualifying.
All right, so and Brian, just as we were saying that, again, when we only had a couple hundredths of a second separating 4 drivers, Yortsoy putting 0.5 seconds on the rest of the field. That is absolutely huge. In Spec Boxster, Rob Walker in his 1999 Boxster with a fast lap of 1:39.207, and he set that on his 2nd flying lap, a full second up on Sean O'Brien, with Tim Nagy 3rd fastest, over another 0.5 second back from there. And Stephen Ryan, another 2.2 seconds back. Top 4 in Spec Boxster currently, separated by 5 full seconds.
Yeah, Rob Walker's been pretty quick all year long in that 99 Boxster and that number 171. We saw it at Sebring. We also saw him really, really quick at VIR. And here again, Rob Walker pretty quick right out of the gate during qualifying here at Road Atlanta.
All right, fastest driver in the session. He's our only Spec 997 driver. Driving a 2009 997.2 is David Hodges. Just turns in a 134, 166. And in the H class, Mark Hill, your fastest driver, just turned in his fastest lap, turned in a 142.063. Richard Eggleston in a 2007 Porsche 911 turns in a 144.338. That's about 2.2 seconds back from Hill. And then Breon Charters with a 148.425, about 4 seconds back from there. In SP3, Greg Rochik turns in a 134.991. That's 4.5 seconds clear of John Payton. Rochik in a 944, a 1991 944 S2 with John Payton in a much newer Porsche 968, a 1990, much newer, 1 year. I think that was the very first year of the 968 chassis when the 968 replaced the 944.
And Rogic is a very good driver. It's new. Being behind him is not anything to feel bad about.
Yeah, indeed. So Rochik this is his home track. He hails here from Atlanta, Georgia, and has been racing with PCA now for 16 years. Won his first race at Road Atlanta just 2 years ago, back in 2023, and then it was a good start for him because he said he went on to win 7 more races back in 2023. So a good year for him. And as you said, certainly after all these years, it's become much more difficult to beat him.
He's come into his own.
Indeed, and so he runs a steel distribution company here, and he says his next best hobby, what a big surprise, traveling. Well, there you go. So Rochik, your fastest driver at the moment in that class. And if we take a look at John Payton and then Tanner Market. In SP1, we've got Tim Pruitt, who's got about 4 seconds on Albert Salvador. That's the SP1 class. Both drivers running a little bit earlier 944s. As opposed to the 944 S2 that Rochik has in the SP3 class. Pruitt at a 148.13 with about 4 seconds now on Salvador.
Tell you what, Greg, real quick, Charles Liu in that 079 and that another GT3 machine, he has actually gone out just now after on his 9th lap in this session, just set the overall fastest time with a 133.962. So again, those cars starting to come into their own 9 laps into the qualifying session.
And the traffic is now cooperating.
Correct.
A lot of people have come in. So feel that open track.
All right, and I'm getting word here, Dick, that qualifying should have about 1 minute remaining on the clock, and then we'll see the checkered flag here. So last flying laps for these drivers are beginning. And we've just got a couple of drivers here as we look at some of our drivers coming through turn 6, heading into turn 7. And Brian, as you mentioned, turn 6 very heavily cambered. You can carry a lot of speed through there, but it's somewhat deceptive because the very next corner, turn 7, heavy braking, slowest corner on the track, but absolutely critical so that you can carry speed down this very long straightaway. You know, we had the 2 straightaways at Virginia International Raceway. Is now the checkered flag is being displayed on the front straight. You know, but the back straight in Madison Avenue at Virginia International Raceway, for as far as the length goes, doesn't really hold a candle to what we have here at Road Atlanta. Also, the straightaway at VIR is uphill, so you're typically not gaining as high a speed, your terminal speed not nearly as high as you then, one staying flat and then start to come down the hill and then into this braking zone at 10A.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. You're going uphill as opposed to really going downhill. So, you talked about it, and I talked about it earlier on there. Getting through turn 6, you want to carry as much speed, but you got to get on the brakes. You can't lose the nose of the car there. That is really where you're going to set you up of how good your lap is going to be by coming back down this hill. If you lose it out of there, and you saw on the camera shots when we were showing those cars, if you get too far drivers left, get out over those rumble strips. Well, with as much rain as was here last night. tonight, it's going to be a challenge getting any type of power. You're almost going to have to get completely out of that. It will ruin your lap.
Checker is out. Purple group, that's your last call to the grid for qualifying. Purple group, last call to the grid.
All right, so as we have our final cars coming across the start-finish line and taking the checkered flag, and I believe we've got some drivers that you just saw there heading to the pit lane rather than complete their final laps. Brian, let's run down the final qualifying times for our different classes. And again, our yellow group, they will have their first of 3 races this weekend, starting today at 2:30 p.m. And of course, we'll be bringing you that race live. So in GT3, Charles Liu, your fastest driver, with a time of 1:33.962, 1.2 seconds clear of John Dunsky, with Rafael Serralta third fastest in class. In the I class, Sam Amano, in his 2014 Porsche Cayman S, your sole racer. In the G class, Michael Gershon in a 2001 Porsche Boxster S turned in a 1:39.570. I'm going to have to get out of the habit of saying Porsche first here. I think that's kind of a given. James Clemens, our second fastest driver in the G class in a 2000 Boxster, and that was pretty darn close, only 0.4 of a second back. In the F class, Richard Bennett in the 2006 Boxster turns in a 1:43.779, about 5.5 seconds clear of Stu Jenkins. In Spec Cayman, Patrick James in his 2008 Cayman S gave us a 1:35.643. That was 0.6 clear of Scott Gill, who turned in a 1:36.256. Eric Yurtsoy, only 92 one-thousandths of a second back from Gill, a 1:36.348. Matt DiStefano, fourth fastest. Michael Venable, fifth fastest. In Spec Boxster, Rob Walker, your fastest driver in the number 171 1999 Boxster. Sean O'Brien, almost exactly 1 second back from there to 1:40.276. Tim Nagy, second and a half back at a 1:41.921. Then we had Stephen Ryan and Keith Olcha, rounding out your top 5. Our sole 911 Cup driver, Fred Beasley, turns in a 1:46.27, with David Hodges, our sole Spec 997 racer, turns in a 1:34.166. In the H class, Mark Hill, 2.2 seconds clear of the rest of the field, with Richard Eggleston second fastest, Breon Charters third fastest. Don Holmes, our sole racer in ME1. James Stanislaw, our sole racer in K, with Franklin Prey, who was our chief steward at Virginia International Raceway just a few weeks ago, getting back into his Porsche 997. He turns in a 1:35.5. He's the sole racer in that J class. In SP3, Greg Rochick turning in a 1:34.991 in his 944 S2, with John Payton and Tanner Market rounding out the top 3. And then in SP1, Tim Pruitt with a 1:48.133, about 4 seconds ahead of Albert Salvador. And with that, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just a few moments with more racing action from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Pirelli and Porsche have been a winning combination around the racing world for years. Pirelli is proud to bring that relationship to PCA Club Racing yet again in 2025. Make sure to see the guys from Frisbee and find the right Pirelli tire for your vehicle, or check them out on the web at frisbeeracetire.com. Pirelli powers nothing without control. When you pack up from the raceway and head home on the highway, remember that the engineering excellence Michelin strives for in racing is applicable to our passenger and light truck tires too. Michelin is proud to continue its national sponsorship of Porsche Club of America and Club Racing. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Looking to decrease lap times on the track without an engine overhaul? GT Racing has a wide range of fiberglass and carbon fiber body panels, along with European Racing headers, exhaust systems to lighten your car and accelerate all the potential horsepower of your engine. Time for a change? Convert your 944 into a turbo or a 924 GT, or your 911 to a 911 RS, RSR, or 935. Talk with Joel at GT Racing. He'll help you choose the winning combination of lightweight Porsche parts and header systems to set you on the right track. GT Racing is your one-stop shop for your Porsche needs. GT Racing is a national sponsor and proudly sponsors tech inspections at PCA Club Races. GT Racing also sponsors the Best Prepared Car Award, a $100 gift certificate certificate at each race. Call Joel at GT Racing today at 1-800-797-2911 or find us on the web at www.gt-racing.com.
Our first club racing sponsor, Porsche Cars North America, funds the club racing news and sponsors the Workers' Choice Award, considered the most prestigious award given at a club race. Thank you to PCA for offering vital support to our club racing program.
Two-day events scheduled at 7 tracks this year. Many events precede PCA Club races, offering you more quality practice time and coaching opportunities. They cater to experienced drivers that range from solo HPDE drivers that are comfortable in traffic to pro drivers and teams testing for upcoming races. Go to davidmurray.com for a full schedule and more information.
Welcome back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. It is the Peach State 225 presented by the Porsche Club of America and the Peach State region of the PCA. I'm Greg Ginsberg with Brian Canati and Dick Kelson. And we have our second qualifying session of the day. These are our GTA, GTB, GTD, GTC class, all of our GT classes, primarily our Cup cars, right, Dick?
Yeah.
Right, and they are out and completing their outlap here, and still, well, we'll see how much of a run they can get, Dick, as they're all separated by about 2 car lengths max as they come down the hill and start their first flying lap.
Yeah, watching them go into turn 1, it's like traffic on I-285.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess, you know, if you're the first driver off the grid, you're in pretty darn good shape. I wouldn't want to be 20 deep at this point. It's interesting. I cover a lot of time trials events for different organizations, you know, where everybody is out, well, competing against the clock, like they are for qualifying here. Yeah. But one of the key things that they do is they try to set sufficient gaps so that they actually have the ability to put in a fast lap and they're not necessarily impacted by the car directly ahead of them. Here, it's probably going to take a number of laps for these guys to figure out who they need to be with and set some gaps.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be so. Evidently, they did not get the memo, right?
Yeah.
This is qualifying. This is not a race, and you had a couple cars that were holding a lot of, that whole line up. Now it seems to be where they're starting to spread themselves out. But again, the in-car camera here, you can see the changes. Got as much as he could on that curbing as they come down the hill through the S's. Greg, this is going to be the tricky spot, especially in this group as well, because you want to try to get through there as flat-footed, as much throttle as you can, but it just isn't going to work. You're going to have to feather that, especially early on. So as these guys start to spread out a little bit more, that's when you're going to start to see these lines come in.
All right, and I believe, Brian, that this is Kim Estep. Kim, she is driving the number 946 Porsche Cayman, I believe here, and she is in the GTB class here as she comes out of turn 7, and this is great. You can see, you get that little bit of a breather on the back straight, but it's going to get very hectic for her here in just a moment, Dick, as she comes down this hill into the braking zone for turn 10.
Yes, it gets very busy there as you try to keep as much speed as you can, but not so much that you end up in the sand trap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and as drivers, it's the very first flying lap. She's not going to be pushing it all that deep that you end up, but there is a huge gravel trap there at the end. The other thing that you have to worry about here, if you turn in a little bit too early, coming off of the back straight at 10A, the left-hander, is that you don't have the car push wide coming through turn B. If you get on that blue and yellow curbing at the exit of that complex as you start to rise up towards the bridge, the gator teeth there, as we call them, are so deep, you can really throw out the alignment on a car. It's probably the one set of curbing that you absolutely want to avoid here. And you can see it here. I mean, you can look at it at how deep it is if
Yeah.
you get all the way out to the edge.
And
Yeah,
these
and
drivers,
the runoff area there is a tall concrete thing. So,
Yep.
I was going to say, and those drivers will feel it in the seat. There is no doubt that they will
Oh, yeah.
feel that when they hit that. It will be, as if they're riding around with zero suspension.
All right, so let's take a look here. And interestingly, well, we'll take a look because Jordan, just so you, okay, we may have the in-car for Bob Mueller as well. Okay. Yeah, he was doing some testing with me earlier, but Bob Mueller is in the GTA 3 class. He's in a 2017 GT3 Cup car. He just turned in a 124.4, and I believe he ran the table in GTA 3 at Virginia International Raceway a couple weeks ago. Corey Friedman, and admittedly, only one flying lap in the books currently. 2.2 seconds back from there. Travis Bedson, third fastest at the moment, another second and a half back. In GTB1, Ed Dunn, who had a very strong weekend at Virginia International Raceway, he turns in a 134.1. That is 0.2 of a second up on Angus Rogers. Russell Maturana with a 134.3, currently your third fastest driver in a 9-car class. In GTC 7, Philip Leha with a 125.369. That is 0.6 up on John Boyette Jr. With Troy Peterson running third fastest at the moment, now with 3 flying laps in the books, a 127.815. All of these drivers in 991.1 Cup cars, 10 drivers in GTC 7 here this weekend. In GTC 8 for our 992 Cup cars, John Getz with 1.2 seconds on Matt Holcomb, with Price Ford third fastest. In GTA 4, and I believe GTA 4 has some of our latest 992 Cup cars. Andres Leon with a 126.27. He's 3 seconds up on Wayne Ducote, with Woody Witchard third fastest, about 4 seconds off the provisional pole in class. Nicholas Giguere in his Cayman GT4 RS Club Sport currently leads the GTD2 class with a time of 132.2. Mark Cook at a 134.1. Scott Nays at a 135.116.
Greg, as you're running down the field right here, again, another large group. 48 cars have taken time in this qualifying session. That is quite a bit to get spread out, especially depending on how they lined them up on the grid. You see here a couple cars going by. That blue and that yellow car there before has been kind of in and out of traffic pretty much the entire session, having to give up a lot of corners. Some of these faster cars that started in the back, such as, Bob Mueller started a little bit mid-pack. Corey Freeman still mid-pack, not able to get the laps they were getting in practice this morning, especially through the second practice. It looked like Corey Freeman and Bob Mueller, they were within hundreds of each other during that.
Yeah, and I believe the driver that we were just watching there in the yellow Cup car, that is the Isringhausen machine, Dick, and I think with Tom Burke in the white Cayman directly behind, Connor Hare in a white Cayman directly ahead. And Isringhausen right now is your fourth fastest driver in GTC 7 as he is actually coming down the hill. We'll see if he can improve upon his previous fast lap. Isringhausen turns in a 128.211. And again, that is good for fourth. In GTD3, Mark Calzaretta in his GT4 RS Club Sport now with a 127.824. That is a 10th up on Tom Burke, with Connor Hare another 0.4 of a second back from there. Currently only 1.1 seconds separating our top 4 drivers, as Chris Dooley in the number 751 Cayman GT4 RS Club Sport is only 6 tenths of a second back from Connor Hare. We've got 9 cars registered for the GTD3 class, all Cayman GT4 RS Club Sports. Ray Ramirez has not brought his car out for qualifying.
Hey, Calzaretta this morning in the second practice, he was kind of the first car off. I was kind of looking at timing and scoring. And again, out there by himself, really when practice started, got a pretty good lap time. A little bit slower than he was during practice. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But again, that could be because he's back in the pack here trying to get that good, clean lap. And I think at the end of all of this, probably 4 or 5 drivers are going to get a really good lap. Everybody else is just going to have to take with what they got.
Yeah, indeed. As we go back on board with Kim Estep in that 946 machine. I was just watching, Brian, a little bit further back in the field here. Angus Rogers in his GTB1 Cayman came across the line right with Francis Florido and Brad Weber. And you could tell that the 9 car, it was definitely held up a bit coming down out of turn 12. And when you do that, again, that is a corner where you want to be flat to the floor. It means that you're not going to be able to carry, although it's a short-ish front straight here, you're not going to be able to carry a lot of speed coming towards turn 1, which is, the turn 1, not a heavy braking corner. You want to be able to carry speed up the hill, right, Dick?
Well, for the newbies, turn 1 is typically something they slowed on way too far for.
All right, we've got a car off now over just at the entrance to turn 7. Drivers left. We'll try and get the car number on that here, but that, of course, brings out the local caution. And based on where it is, that local caution would be at turn 7, not extending back to turn 6. And we are going to a black flag condition, Brian. All of our drivers are going to now need to return to the pit lane, and that is standing house rules here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, that they will not deploy their safety equipment under a hot track. So during qualifying sessions, that means that they're going to black flag the session, bring all of the drivers down the pit lane, and during race conditions, usually it means that it's going to bring out a full course caution.
Yeah, well, and where that car was located, there's just no real safe way
to
for them to get to it.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, it means that there'd be likely a significant course blockage there right at the entrance to turn 7 to be able to get that car off. Well, it's already off, but get it through the grass there, as they've not been able to get it restarted. We see here, and this also is problematic.
Oops.
As we have somebody who is stalled out there. That is the entrance to turn 5.
That's not how you do the S's.
No, and we see there as well. He's got the hazard lights on, so sorry, we'll send you out. We'll send somebody out to get you here in just a few moments.
Safety is first. Make sure
That's
you got
right.
your head. No,
Yep.
it looks like he's trying to reset the entire system.
Yeah, exactly.
I think when they reset them, those flashers come on right there. But they should be able to get him really quickly because there's that access road right there. So.
Yeah, indeed. So we'll see if we can get the number on that.
Oh.
It's a little bit out of my view. I can't tell if that's the 194. I thought it might have been 191. 191. Yeah, Andres Leon. Yeah, I think you're right there. Andres Leon in his 92 Cup car.
Well, the recovery vehicles are rolling, but there's only a few minutes left in their time slot here. So
and exactly, because under black flag conditions, the clock continues to run.
Yeah,
and given that they're just now setting the emergency services vehicles, even if they were able to just get that car pulled off, pulled in, and there are a couple of different places they could get it behind the wall, actually over at turn 7, and bring it across. But it will leave these drivers perhaps one flying lap at best. By the time they completed an out lap, the checkered would be ready to fly out there. Want to also mention that this race group is presented by Stable Energies, one of our sponsors here this weekend. Want to thank them for joining us. Our yellow group qualifying was presented by Track Day Tires. And so we can see here a lot of the drivers, they are lining up as if to go back out, but a number of drivers taking their machines back to the paddock. They've got, as you see here, as we're on board with the S-Step machine once again. Gloves are off. Literally not fighting, but the gloves are off, Dick. And a lot of the teams checking tire pressures, what have you. They're under the impression that they're not going back out for another run.
Yeah, this was scheduled until 1:25, and that's only 4 minutes from now.
Exactly. Dick, do we need to make a call to the grid for our next group? I think we have an advanced DE session going on.
This would probably be a good time to do it.
All right, let's do it.
Advanced DE group to the grid, please. Advanced DE group to the grid, please.
All right, so let's do this, Brian, because we have 3 minutes on the clock, but I have a feeling this is going to likely bring out the checkered flag. Let me go and reset the field here, let you know where things stand across our different groups, because there are, I think, some big implications here. In GTD 3, Tom Burke, in his GT4S Club Sport, turned in a time of 1:27.771 just before the black flag came out. That is 53 one-thousandths of a second clear of Mark Calzaretta. Then we've got Connor Hare just about 5/10 back from there, and there you go. Calls just come in from race control. They're going to be displaying the checkered flag here now on the start stand, so that is going to wrap up our session. So it's Burt Calzaretta, Hare, then Chris Dooley, then Brianna Ogden. That's your top 5 in GTD 3. In GTD 1, Jimmy Martin, your fastest driver, over John Harrell, about 13 seconds separating them. Both of them in 981 Cayman GT4 Club Sports, not the RS version. In GTC 6, TJ Larson, the fastest driver in qualifying at a 1:26.845, with Keith Clark just about 4 seconds back from there, but Ed Boss. And all these drivers in 991.1 Cup cars, and actually most of them in 2015 vintage, a couple of them in 2014 vintage. Ed Boss only 91 one-thousandths of a second back from Keith Clark. In GTD2, Nicholas Giguere, who had a very good weekend at Virginia International Raceway, in his 2020 GT4S Club Sport, turned in a 1:30.56. That's 3.5 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Corey Lipka, second fastest. Mark Cook, third fastest. In GTA 4, Wayne Ducote in his 992 machine turned in a 1:25.838. That's 4.4 of a second clear. Andres Leon, who we saw out there. Jordan, is Andres still trying to get his car started over in the S's, or has he exited the area? All right, getting word that Andres did get that car back up and running. So the 191 car found its way back to the pits. Woody Witcher finishing third fastest. In GTC 8, John Getz in the number 57 992 Cup car with a 1:24.56, 1.2 seconds up on Matt Halcomb, with Price Ford third fastest. In GTC 7, a 10-car field, Philip Leha turning in a 1:25.36, 66 hundredths of a second up on John Boyette Jr., with Cliff Kayer third fastest. Then Troy Peterson and Jeff Isringhausen. Our fastest driver on track today in the session comes from the GTA 3 class. His 2019 GT3 Cup car turning in a 1:23.910. That's Corey Friedman, and he was a half second up on Bob Mueller and the rest of the GTA 3 field. Travis Benson was third fastest. And in GTB1, Kevin Sear, your fastest driver in the class in his 2012 Cayman R, turns in a 132.765, 4/10 up on Ed Dunn with Angus Rogers, third fastest, Francis Florido, fourth fastest, Russell Martirana, fifth fastest. 9 drivers in GTB1, and Kevin Roush, your only racer in GTA 2. All right, so we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We got a little bit of time. 2:30 p.m. will be our first of 2 sprint races today. It'll be for our yellow group. It will be immediately followed by our purple race number 1 on the weekend. So make sure to stay with us. We got more racing action coming to you here from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. It's the Peach State 225.
Every one of us has a moment that we fell in love with Porsche. Some of us were born into it, or took it in from culture. All of us have a favorite movie scene with a Porsche. But for many of us, it was love at first sight. For 70 years, we've celebrated the thrill of driving a Porsche. There's been a lot of changes to technology in that time. From air to water, manual to PDK, and internal combustion to electricity. It's not just the cars, it's the people. This club is a community. Forging lifelong friendships and bonding over a shared passion. Whether it be on the track, the open road, or in the middle of nowhere. Let's keep the passion going for another 70 years. From generation to generation, and from sea to shining sea.
At Hankook Tire, we strive to create a universal moment when the car and driver become one. Our aim is to develop a safer, more pleasant, and more comfortable driving experience from the moment the driver turns on the engine. Through strong braking power, smooth handling, driving comfort, and guaranteed safety, Hankook products deliver an authentic driving experience beyond mobility. Our tires provide total control of speed and direction while ensuring safety and comfort on the road. Embrace driving emotion and embrace the feel and excitement of being behind the wheel with Hankook Tire. Hankook competition tires are the perfect match of performance and longevity. Visit hankookmotorsports.com to buy today.
OG Racing has been a national sponsor of PCA Club Racing since 1998. Headquartered in Sterling, Virginia, and staffed by PCA members and club racers, OG Racing has always carried the industry's best in racing safety equipment and performance parts. The best products from manufacturers like Sparco, OMP, Alpine Stars, helmets from Bell, Stilo, Rue, brake pads from Performance Friction, Paget, and Hawk, just to name a few, and are always in stock and ready to ship from their 12,000 square foot warehouse. Give OG Racing a call or visit them at www.ogracing.com and sign up for their newsletter.
We're not just a one-off experience, we're a call to freedom. We're a place in people's minds where everyone can unleash their wild side with a passport to a world of possibilities, a spirit that breaks all the rules, uniting the famously bold and spirited essence of tequila from Mexico with the much-loved richness of peanut butter. Manibal is the bold embodiment of the party animal within us all. Here is where the ethics starts. Tequila can be purchased nationwide at manibaltequila.com.
Club Reg is a supporter of PCA Club Racing and the provider of all registration for each of our races. ClubRegistration.net is a unique service because we put all of our customers first. You can use our services for free or with a small credit card handling fee. How can you go wrong? Included with both are custom solutions tailored to meet your needs. Find out more information at ClubRegistration.net.
Hennessy Porsche is an exclusive manufacturer partner, allowing an unparalleled amount of personalization when ordering a new Porsche. Hennessy is also a Porsche Classic partner, guaranteeing factory-authorized service performed by certified master technicians on all vintages of Porsches, both street and race cars. Visit HennessyPorsche.com to learn more.
HPDE season is here, and First Settlers Region is excited to see you all on track April 25th through 27th. We're fortunate enough to have Virginia International Raceway as our home track, the track Paul Newman called Heaven on Earth. The FSR Spring HPDE at VIR will have an and are interested in becoming an instructor, we will be having a PCA National Instructor Training that will coincide with the HPDE. If you are interested in becoming an HPDE instructor, our CTI will be reviewing registrations. If you are curious about HPDE but are uncertain about committing to an entire weekend, you can come to VIR on Saturday for Intro to DE, a classroom session and a single instructed session on track. Don't forget our Saturday happy hour, a great opportunity to socialize and tell tales about your lap times. Run groups are filling fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Register now to secure your spot on motorsportsreg.com.
Upper Canada region is proud to host the 28th annual Can-Am Challenge Club Race at historic Mosport Raceway in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada, Thursday, June 26th through 29th. Described by Juan Pablo Montoya as one of the most challenging tracks in the world with its elevation changes and blind corners, it's the fastest track IMSA races on. Another racer described the speed and elevation changes like landing on an aircraft carrier. The perfect high-speed track for any car. Get in gear and set a reminder in clubregistration.net. Registration opens May 12th. Our team is here to answer any of your questions, from border crossing to the best accommodations, to help you plan your trip to our amazing track. Reach out to club-race@pcaucr.org.
Potomac Region's premier event, Porsche Fest, is the weekend of July 25th. Come join our annual family reunion at Summit Point Motorsports Park, where members and enthusiasts across all of our programs, such as driver education, autocross, drive and dine, concourse, and rally, come together for a fun weekend at the track. From the barbecue dinner on Saturday night, taste of autocross, charity laps, to concourse, best of show, and all things Porsche Motorsports, it's always a great time at the track. So let's celebrate all things Porsche at Potomac's Porsche Fest.
Join us for the 31st Great Plains Region Carrera GT Club Race at Motorsports Park Hastings, June 20th through 22nd. In addition to club racing, we'll also be holding a DE for advanced drivers, and nobody will want to miss our wonderful Saturday night social. All GPR club members are invited to attend and experience the high-level racing, drive in the DE, or attend the social. Just a little more than 2 hours from Omaha, driving to MPH goes by pretty quick when you're cruising in a Porsche. Make sure to join us. Registration opens on clubregistration.net on May 5th.
Treffin means to meet. That's the entire concept behind the PCA Treffins, an opportunity for PCA members to meet their fellow Porsche enthusiasts in some of the most spectacular locations in North America. PCA's Treffins provide the opportunity for members to drive some of the best roads in North America and enjoy 4- and 5-star hospitality at world-class hotels. The Spring Treffin will be April 30th to May 4th at the Omni Homestead Resort in Hot Springs, Virginia. Break away from the mundane and escape to the Allegheny Mountains, where you can unwind on a 2,300-acre Virginia estate. The Omni Homestead is a 4-diamond host resort that recently completed a $156 million renovation and combines Southern hospitality and elegant charm with premier luxury enjoyed by 23 U.S. presidents and numerous celebrities, movers, and shakers during its illustrious history. The tours will travel on some of the best roads in the Southeast, and you have the opportunity to experience abundant sports and recreational opportunities or indulge in the comforts offered within the resort's luxurious, destination-worthy spa. You will not be disappointed in the opportunities for both stimulation and relaxation. To learn more and register, please visit treffin.pca.org. Come join racers, sponsors, spectators, and volunteers at this year's Rock the Summit, September 12th through 14th. Rock the Summit is the club race for PCA Potomac's Founders Region, and at 34 years, it's the longest-running PCA race in the nation. Beyond the high-energy racing, join us for live music, a barbecue dinner, roaming beer carts during happy hours, and some other treats as well. Our 100-plus highly committed volunteers are ready to make the race weekend the best you'll ever experience, whether you're a racer, spectator, or sponsor. See you at Rock the Summit 2025.
Are you enjoying this event at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta? Because you too can drive this fantastic track, home of Petit Le Mans. Peach State Region PCA will hold 2 more DE events at this world-famous facility this year, a 2-day event June 21st and 22nd, and a 3-day event September 19th through 21st. You don't need a Porsche or prior experience to participate. Just bring any track-worthy car that can pass our tech inspection, and our experienced instructors will guide you through the novice run group to become a solo driver. Register online at clubregistration.net.
If you're a PCA racer, Watkins Glen has got to be on your bucket list of tracks to drive. If you've driven it before, don't miss the chance to come back and improve your times and win on this track where great racers such as Jack Bratham, Sterling Moss, and Dan Gurney found glory. Maybe it's the sheer joy of racing on this superb, well-maintained track with its thrilling elevation changes, or imagining they're running with Mario Andretti, Jackie Ickx, or Derek Bell that brings out racers from all over the USA and Canada to make this Zone 1 club race one of the largest on the PCA Club Racing circuit. PCA members are welcome to attend and perhaps consider how they may make the transition from driver education to club racing. The fun-filled weekend will include 3 sprint races and 1 65-minute enduro race, along with an advanced solo DE run group. Registration opens on clubregistration.net on April 21st. Experience the ultimate celebration of Porsche passion at the annual PCA Parade. This week-long extravaganza from July 6th to the 12th is a must-attend event for Porsche enthusiasts of all ages, offering a perfect blend of social, competitive, and educational activities. From the Concours d'Elegance to the autocross, to the scenic driving tours, to the tech sessions, to the banquets, to the social events, there's something for everyone. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a weekend racer, or simply love the brand, the PCA Parade is your chance to immerse yourself in a community that shares your passion. Set in Oklahoma City this year, a central location in the United States right along historic Route 66, join us for an unforgettable celebration of everything Porsche. Whether you're polishing your car for the concourse, taking on the autocross course, or joining a scenic driving tour, the PCA Parade promises memories that will last a lifetime. Secure your spot today and join us for a week of excitement, connection, and all things Porsche. To learn more and register, please visit PorscheParade.org.
We're thrilled to announce the highly anticipated Racing of the Spring race at iconic Lime Rock Park, set for April 25th and 26th. This marks the 33rd year of this exciting event, and it's the perfect opportunity to take your Porsche out on the thrilling 1.53-mile road course and experience the rush of racing alongside fellow Porsche enthusiasts. With exhilarating action, breathtaking views, and a vibrant atmosphere, this event is truly one you don't want to miss. It's going to be a weekend filled with high-speed excitement, camaraderie, and unforgettable moments. Whether you're behind the wheel or cheering from the sidelines, racing into spring promises to be an amazing time for everyone. Mark your calendars now. This is one event you want to be a part of. We can't wait to see you there.
Celebrate 57 years of tradition at Renfest, Zone 3's signature event to cap off the summer season. Nestled in the picturesque North Georgia mountains, this multi-region gathering promises incredible camaraderie, exhilarating drives, optional competitive events, and unforgettable memories. Labor Day weekend is the date. Brasstown Valley Resort is the place. Register at peachstatepca.org.
Join us for a 7-day cruise, the Treffin at Sea. To celebrate the 70th anniversary of Porsche Club, we'll be cruising August 30th to September 6th and showcasing the history and majesty of the East Coast. We'll stop in Newport, in Boston, Portland and St. John, and Halifax along the way, where you'll find import Porsche events. You'll also enjoy special entertainment, Porsche celebrity appearances, seminars, competitions, dinners, and the highly anticipated Porsche Diecast Concourse at Sea. The Enchanted Princess will both depart and return from New York City, making it a round trip. You'll experience incredible cuisine, culture, history, and nature, plus Porsche surprise events when we stop at port. To learn more and register, please visit PCA.org and click the Events tab.
Maverick Region PCA is excited to announce our Eagles Canyon 1 Club Race May 24th and 25th. We'll be racing on the counterclockwise 2.7-mile course with 15 turns at over 200 feet of elevation change. All races have points towards the PCA National and Mid-America Championships. Expect 2 practices qualifying at a 30-minute sprint race on Saturday and 2 additional sprint races on Sunday, one 30 minutes long and one 40 minutes long. Podium winning trophies for race classes with a 4+ car count and additional awards will be presented at the Saturday evening banquet at the Over the Top Bar and Grill at Eagles Canyon Raceway.
The Shenandoah Porsche region invites you to the RPM weekend, September 13th at Richmond International Raceway for a special autocross on the track. Not in the parking lot, mind you, but on the very same track that NASCAR and IndyCar race. Opened in 1953, RIR is a 3/4-mile D-shaped oval track with a 14-degree banking, and maximizing the 860-foot straightaway, we're focusing on a high-speed flowing course. The extra special trait here is the sound your car will make reverberating off the grandstands, especially down that long back straight. It's truly a special experience that car enthusiasts can seldom experience. Register online at motorsportsreg.com today.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Peach State 225 presented by the Porsche Club of America and the Peach State region of the PCA. I'm Greg Ginsberg along with Brian Donati and Dick Kelson, and it is time to go racing here at MRNA's 2.54 mile, 12-turn, incredibly difficult circuit. Let's run down the starting order for this race where we had 41 drivers set qualifying times. Starting on the pole today, driving the number 079 GT3 Porsche Cayman, it's Charles Liu. Starting on the outside of the front row in the Spec 997.2 machine, the 41 car of David Hodges. James Stanislaw will start third. He's in the K class 996 twin turbo. That's the 45 car with Greg Rochik starting fourth. He's in the number 320 SP3 Porsche 944 S2. Then we got John Dunsky. He's in a 2006 Cayman S. That's the number 447 car. He's racing in the GT3 class with Frank Prey starting sixth. He's in the J class 2010 Porsche 997. Patrick James is our pole sitter in Spec Cayman. The number 47 2008 Cayman S is the number 47 car with Scott Gill starting eighth, also in Spec Cayman. He's in the number 158 Cayman. Eric Yortsoy, will start ninth. He's in the 321 Cayman with Matti Stefano starting 10th in the 93 as the pace car is on the pit lane and as our racers come around turn 12. Green flag is in the air, gentlemen, as they all make the run down towards turn one and jumping to an early overall lead. There is Charles Liu in the 079 machine with David Hodges sliding in right behind here. And as Stanislaw comes through and Rochik, great start there for our Spec Caymans. I believe 11 cars deep with James Gill, Yortsoy, Di Stefano, Venable. A little bit further back, we have it just as large a Spec Boxster field with our pole sitter, Rob Walker, in the number 171. He started 16th.
Tell you what, Greg, when they took that green flag, they were more spread out than they were during qualifying. It was qualifying when they came out. They were all nose to tail. When they came down to take the green flag right here, they were spread all out like you wouldn't believe. And I think that's more of, I got to get a good, clean run right off the start.
Yeah, and we noticed that as I was running down the starting order there, Brian, that a lot of the cars, they didn't start the form up really well 2x2 as they came into turn 10A and 10B. This was supposed to be a 2x2 start, and and I think one of the challenges is, once that pace car hits the pit lane just after the Fox Factory Bridge and they're coming down that hill, the lead group, they're already on the throttle basically before that green flag comes out. And we actually had a fairly early green flag, Dick. So racers were on it already.
Yeah. If the pace car gets too far in front of them, they're going to hit the gas.
Exactly. All right, so coming down into turn one, our new overall leader, he is in the K class. That is James Stanislaw, and he is your only racer right now in the K class. He's in the number 45 gray 996 twin turbo, and he started third with David Hodges in his Spec 997, who started on the outside of the front row, slotting in the second. Frank Prey, who was scheduled to start sixth overall in the 777 car. That's the black 997, actually the second black 997. He slots into third. So the question is, Charles Liu, what happened to Charles Liu?
Where did he go?
He didn't go anywhere, actually. He didn't start. And so I was very, very wrong there that we didn't have the 079 there leading the rest of the cars into turn one. I think it was actually David Hodges who led them all in. Liu did not take the start. Some other drivers here not coming out for the green flag. Greg Rochik, John Dunsky, Eric Yortsoy. I mean, it looks like a good number of Spec Cayman racers. James Clemens in the G class, Tanner Market in SP3, Richard Bennett. Looks like our sole ME1 racer, Don Holmes, not taking the grid here as we go on board now. This is the number 23 machine that we are looking at, and that is Steve Coombs there in the 23, was running fourth overall. The question is, where are all the cars directly ahead of him, Brian?
Well, I tell you what, Greg, they've done taken off, or maybe he went off a little bit. We're going to find out. It doesn't look like he's dropping down on the sheet. So
yeah,
so
well,
I
think the issue is, Brian, they just went through turn one, and we should have a car coming up the inside here on Coombs as he comes up the hill. And there we go, as we see those two cars now making their way up towards turn 3. And I think that was Scott Gill in the 158 blue and black Cayman. That's the battle for the lead right now in SPC in Spec Cayman.
One of the factors for the lack of participation is this is a non-points race. So
they're all gearing up and want to have the cars ready for our first sprint race tomorrow. We're going to have 2 sprint races tomorrow for this group. First one is going to be at 10:45 tomorrow morning. The second race will be after lunch at 2:25. And same deal for our second race group, our purple race group. This afternoon's race is a non-points race. So I mean, it's a good opportunity though, Dick, I would think, to go out there and try to measure up your competitors and see what their tendencies are here and where maybe there are portions of the track that they don't do very well, and maybe plan ahead for tomorrow's points race.
Yeah, I think that's very good for the experienced racers. If they're satisfied, they're going to hold off for the points one.
Well, yeah, you throw in, we talked about it. Somebody, one of the drivers got his hand out to when they're going to let everybody go by, but it looked like he was kind of got that signal going on. Again, in this non-points race, you're right, Dick and Greg, you don't really want to go and have a chance to tear up your equipment, especially in a non-points event. We saw in qualifying, and we talked about this when we were first coming on air, is that you get so tight, you get so bunched up. This track can jump up and bite you quickly in some of these turns. So better to protect your equipment as well and make it last for when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we did just have, Brian, a car come down the pit lane, one of our Spec Cayman racers, and I believe that is the 158 car of Scott Gill. Who is having some issues with that car, or maybe he was just shaking the car down for tomorrow. But he's taking his car back behind the wall and heading back to the paddock.
Well, I think it's, exactly goes back to what Dick was talking about as well. Again, non-points race doesn't mean anything. Go out, get a couple use it as a practice session, right? Again, 20-minute, just basically a 20-minute practice session that you're going to go out. If you feel something's not right in the car, you're going to bring it right back in after 3 laps. You don't want to, do any damage to the car that will prevent you from racing tomorrow and possibly in the Enduro.
All right, and so these are, to our knowledge, these are 25-minute timed races, and already, now we're just about almost a quarter of a way through this race here as we check in, and it is still Stanislaw sitting up in the front of the field in the gray twin turbo 996, then David Hodges in spec 997. I believe Hodges is the only racer in that class. Franklin Prey in the J class, and also our sole racer in J today. And then we get to the Spec Caymans, and it is, again, at the top of the field there, Steve Coombs, Patrick James, as Coombs did hold off James. And it's not until we get down to Perry Lowry, who's in 14th position overall, till we get to our third place SPC racer. We've got Michael Gershon in the G class running 6th, Sam Amano running in 7th. In SP3, John Payton is currently your leader, with Rob Walker leading Spec Boxster.
Talk about that Sports Cayman again. That's starting to really break up a little bit there. Scott Gill coming down on pit road, only leaving really 3 of them out there. Scott Coombs, Patrick James. We got one. Yeah, it looks like we got one down there in the gravel track. Come on top.
Yeah, and Brian, we are going to a black flag all condition. So we thought we saw this during practice, or probably during qualifying a little bit earlier, and I thought this might bring out the safety car, but we are going to bring all of our racers down the pit lane And Dick, we talked about this earlier. And I think when we talked initially about it, it was the very first lap, and we were looking at one of our in-car feeds. So, the driver is certainly not pushing at the very first lap in qualifying, but now under race conditions where you may be trying to outbrake, and that entrance at 10A, that is a threshold braking zone that is a key passing opportunity here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. It looks like the car might have just gone a little bit too deep and gotten into that fairly deep gravel trap there.
Definitely got in there deep, Greg, because it looks like the back wing has come off of that car as well. So you can see back in there, looks like the top of that wing may have come off. So it looks like it may have had some contact. You see, on the camera, somebody walking up towards that hill. Looks like that may have been a little bit of contact right there at the wall, and then rode down the wall and then into the gravel trap. So they'll work to get that car out. We'll come back and get this race going again. They'll bring everybody back in. It'd be interesting to see as we look here at our onboard camera. I believe that is the 23 there of Steve Coombs, sitting fourth overall, first in SPC. Whether or not some of these drivers now think about going back out, right? We've had a lot of people going out for the first couple of laps and then turn around and come down pit road, kind of calling this. This non-points race, unfortunately, just kind of a practice session and do some laps. But we'll see how many of them go back out. As looks like you may only have about 16 out of the 40-some that were scheduled.
I just saw one of them towards the back of the pack turn left up the hill.
Yeah.
So he's retired now. One of the Boxsters.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and I think rather than continue to get put heat in the car here, or heat into the drivers just sitting on the pit lane, although again, it's just barely above 60 degrees. Now we do have a driver that had pulled out of line, and he's going to take his car back to the paddock. It's one of our 944s. That is the H-Class car of looks like Breon Charters, the 941 Burgundy 944 just went back to the paddock, and that's only one of two H-Class machines who did come out for this race out of three that were qualified. Mark Hill, the only remaining one.
Tell you what, Greg, good to see Franklin Prey out here running in that 997, that black 777 machine. Didn't get to see him running VIR because he was actually running the show. So
yeah, he was our chief steward for the weekend. Exactly.
Yeah. So
had to do some more important things. But I mean, Franklin, we saw him put on a very nice show for our first event at Sebring International Raceway as well. And, of course, this race presented, or this Black Flag period, along with this race, presented by Toyo Tires. We want to thank Toyo Tires for their assistance in bringing you the Peach State 225. Yeah, as I say, this empty racetrack is presented by Toyo. Yeah, there we go. All right, so looks like we are getting that car up onto the rollback now. Hopefully we'll be able to get these cars back out here and at least run a few more laps. But I think, and Dick, we talked about this when we brought the Black Flag out for that injured car by turn 7 during qualifying, is based on where this car is sitting in the gravel trap and not very deep in the gravel trap. Even behind the safety car, it wouldn't leave a lot of ground there to bring the field through. You could see that rollback is consuming a good portion of the track surface.
There are so many different things that can happen at that point.
Right. And I'm guessing, Brian, that besides losing a wing, I thought for a moment that car might have lost a wheel also.
It did. He was rolling a wheel. So I don't know if that was from the contact. If you look just up the hill, off to the left there of the concrete, you see a black mark on there. That was not there when this race first started. So obviously there was some contact with the wall. with that right rear. So maybe that rear came off during the contact or came off just shortly before that contact, which made that driver veer off to the right and then down through the grass into the trap. Again, with all the rain that was here last night and the thunderstorms that ran through, even though it's sunny out today, the wind's blowing a little bit, and Greg, as you mentioned, kind of in the 60 degree, the grass is still kind of damp, and you hit that, I guarantee it probably picked up some speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so we are getting word that the plan is to send our racers back out here under green. We'll send them out for an out lap, basically a caution lap. And when they come back around, it'll be green flag racing, but it's going to be, a couple more moments here as they finish getting this car loaded up and for them to evacuate the area. And it looks like we're pretty close to doing that now, Brian. Is that you'll see actually right where that car is pointing there, the rollback is pointing, there is a cutout in the wall, so they can actually bring that car back to the infield. By using some of the access roads here around Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. They'll come right underneath, if you see here, and actually this is part of where the dip used to be, there's actually a tunnel which runs right underneath the track, right there, and they'll come right underneath the tunnel and drive that car back into the paddock for our racer. And from the looks of it, as all of our racers did cross the line. I'm looking to see who was down a lap. We've got Stu Jenkins only completing. Let's see. We know Brown Charters went back to the paddock. Stu Jenkins in the 99 Boxster only completed 4 laps, as did Charles Kolstad, Ron Marmol, Ronnie Brown, Albert Salvador. So there are a number of racers that only that were showing as a lap down. And so we'll know here in a few moments exactly which driver that was.
A lot of those drivers, Greg, actually came down pit road right before we went to the black flag off, so they probably came in and said, hey, we're going to call it an afternoon. There was a bunch coming down on pit road when that went black flag off.
The pace car just went out by itself, so I'm not sure what that
it's having means. It's having a race by itself, Dick. It's going to get as many laps as it can, right?
That must be it.
He stopped up on top of the hill going, how come nobody's following me?
Yeah, he was just staging up there. Exactly.
He's staging up there, and
as we've got the
silly me, I was looking out the window instead of looking at the screen. So they are rolling now.
Yep, now we've got some movement rolling.
All right, so as we go back out on board right now, and this is the 23 machine at Coombs, who is your Spec Cayman leader, running 4th overall. We do have the 911 of Frank Prey directly ahead, or at least it should be directly ahead, although that doesn't look like the 777. We'll see here in just a few moments. I think we're going to have a really different order.
So, Greg, one of the interesting things I was just picking up when we're looking at the steam combs inside that car is most of them have the aim so they can see their lap times, and, some of them will throw up in there. There you go. Thank you, Jordan. You can see on the steering wheel, he's got an old school stopwatch.
Yes, he does.
So I think he's looking just at time. I don't think he's actually looking at his times.
Right.
Because it'd be kind of tough to go by the start-finish line and click one of those buttons to get you your time per lap. I think he's looking at the overall time of how much time he has left.
And I'm going to look to see if he is registered for the endurance race today on Sunday. Because remember, also part of the endurance racing is you do have a minimum pit stop time of I believe 5 minutes.
Right.
And you'd hate to have that thing click over at like 4:57. and get back rolling. So I bet you that has a lot to do with it. But yeah, it certainly helps to know when the race, especially for a race that is based on, like this one, that is based on time rather than based on a finite number of laps, to know when that clock is ticking down. So if it's time to make a last lap lunge for the lead in Spec Cayman, you're there ready to do it. I was thinking more along the lines, Brian. Instead of looking at the wheel, you look at the top of the windshield in that car. Jordan, can we jump back to that in-car for a moment? Okay. Yeah, we'll bring it up here in a second, but it's got a nice some inspirational messaging, we'll say, Brian, up at the top of the windshield, reminding you, there you go, no mistakes and kick some, what. There you go. All right, green flag, Brian, is in the air, and so what they did was, the cars came down the pit lane, and they just sent them out in the order that they were in when they entered the pit lane, as opposed to reordering them based on their position on track. So we'll see, Stanislaw and Hodges and Prey and Coombs, they're mid-pack right now and still having to fight their way all through traffic. And a lot of that, and I certainly understand it on a timed race where we've got just a little bit less than 6 minutes remaining, Dick, that for our officials to reorder that entire field and roll things back to the previous lap, we would have long been past the time limit on this group.
Yeah, and we go back to the non-points.
Exactly. How much effort do you want to put towards a non-points race? Exactly.
And you clearly saw that, Greg, as they were coming down out of 2 and headed down the hill out of 3 and then through the S's. A lot of give and take. And this shot right here goes to show you there's a lot of give and take right here. And I think this is where we have the mixed classes mixed up in there. And, again, this non-points race, you know what? Hey, it's okay. You go ahead. Not really worried about it.
It's take no chances instead of take no prisoners.
Exactly. That's exactly here. Although I believe, Brian, sitting at the front of the field, I think that is the Hodges machine, possibly, that's got pretty much 3/4 of the track to himself. I think both he and James Stanislav worked their way clear of most of the pack at this point.
Yeah, the driver making his.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Greg. I was going to say the driver really having to make his way through is that number 4 machine of Sam Amano. He got stuck back based off when that black flag came out, almost behind, a lot of these spec boxers and everything else. Now he's trying to fight his way back through that. Again, not in class. That's an I class versus spec boxer, but he got stuck in behind there and really worked his way through, especially coming down the hill and into 10, and then up underneath the bridge.
And this, Brian, I think is that was one of the most iconic shots in North American motorsports, is when you watch a trail of cars or a line of cars coming down through the S's, as we've got one of our 944s off a little bit to the side there. And that was, let me see if I can get the number on that machine. I believe, actually, that might have been the 968 of John Payton in the SP3 class. Running 8th overall. Looked like he was a little bit off pace. There he is, coming through turn 7. Looking to be a little bit off pace coming out of, originally out of turn 5. And we'll see. I have a feeling that car likely, we'll see it come back to the pits here in just a moment.
Yeah, may have gotten in an awkward situation there with the rest of that group and just didn't want to take that chance. And again, just under, right around 2.5 minutes here, just thought better up it, got out of it. But yeah, looks way off the pace compared to where he was. There you see our overall leaders there. That's the 45, James Stanislaw, and then the 41 there, David Hodges, coming down out of the bottom of that hill, getting ready to head up into turn 5. Then you got a little bit further back, you got Franklin Prey in that 777, and then Steve Combs, our in-car camera, in that Spec Cayman in that 23. They've kind of really separated themselves out back a little bit further till you get to the Patrick James and the Michael Gershon machine, as we're starting to wind down on time here for this. So we'll work to get those in, but again, drivers giving as much room as they can this last half of this race. And we did, Greg. We had one question in the chat. Does the 171 there, Rob Walker, still look like the all magenta with the zombie characters on? No, it's actually black now with the pink on the roof. Should be getting ready to come down with the pink in the front. Here he is right now coming through 10B up the hill. So he's going to come right there in your camera. There's Rob Walker. Got the front, the pink nose and the pink roof, but everything else is now black. We noticed that at Sebring too.
At Sebring. And hopefully we'll have some in-car video from Rob tomorrow during his races. We're in the process of getting that set up, and actually I've seen his in-car video actually has that goblin or whatever it is graphic on his video stream, so we'll be able to watch that. It is the scariest looking in-stream that you could ever see. All right, as time is running down here, and we've got, I think, less than a minute on the clock here. In the H class, we've got Mark Hill as our leader. Of course, Breon Charters took the car back behind the wall. David Hodges, our sole racer in SP 997. Ron Marmol, our sole racer in GT4, I believe, took the car, took his 911 back behind the wall. James Stanislaw, in our sole racer in the K class, running up right towards the front of the overall field. Stu Jenkins retired when we had the black flag all in his number 99 machine. There we go. There it is.
There's Mr. Walker.
Or Mr. Walker's goblin. There right by the dashboard.
Yeah, I think that could be a Rob Zombie there, right? So pointing it, I kind of like where they, where he has the finger pointed down, kind of in the brake and the throttle area of his tack right there. It's like, this is what you don't want to be on, maybe. So
that's right. No brakes, no brakes.
Yeah.
But, all right, Brian, real quick, I want to make a call to the grid for our next race group.
Purple group, to the grid, please, for your race. Purple group, to the red. To the grid, please.
To the yellow phone.
Easy for me to say.
There's no parking in the purple zone. There we go. Yeah. All right, so there you go. So there is Rob Zombie Walker as he makes his way through, and Walker currently your leader in the Spec Boxster class, and Brian, he's got about 12 seconds now on Sean O'Brien, who's running second in class. Stephen Ryan running in third. That Spec Cayman class, of course, Steve Coombs is another one of our in-car cameras. He's got a heck of a battle on his hands right now. Patrick James, the last time they crossed the line was only 0.6 of a second back. And so we talk, and I think that is actually them right there that just went past our camera. We'll take a look as they come down into the braking zone here for what may be close to the last time. As the time has expired on the clock, we do not have the checkered flag being displayed yet. Yeah, but this is coming out of turn 12 now and onto the front straight. Yep. This is the battle for the lead in Spec Cayman. We've got Steve Coombs in the black 23, Patrick James in the green 47 directly behind. And James, he didn't get a great run out of 10A and 10B, but he closed things down by the time they got down to turn 1. And that slight brush of the brake to head up the hill, he's right back there again. And, again, time's running out. They don't know when that green or checkered flag is going to come out.
My link to timing and scoring says it's going to be in a little over 2 minutes.
Yeah, so it looks like they may have extended them for, because of that black flag all, bringing them in to get that car out of there. I know the schedule looks and shows kind of 40 minutes, so they're playing with that schedule, kind of getting it in between. So giving these guys, again, non-points race. We've been talking about it pretty much, all race long, but give them that extra time since they have it built into their schedule for the afternoon. So, but you're right, Greg, coming out of turn 7, there it is. That's the battle in that spec Cayman class with Steve Coombs in that 23, Patrick James in that 47. Patrick James a little bit faster kind of the last time by, but only by, a tenth of a second or 100th of a second. So, again, just trying to take it easy, and you want to take care of that equipment.
All right, as they're coming up on some slower traffic now, and the Boxster just ahead, definitely off the pace. Coombs takes a look to the inside. He's going to come underneath, but O'Brien, it looked like O'Brien got out of the throttle to give some deference to that slower car up ahead, and it really cost him, Brian. It cost him about 8 car lengths now as they come down through turn 1 and start to head up the hill.
Well, not O'Brien. You mean James? You mean Patrick James?
Patrick James. I'm sorry. I'm looking.
It's like maybe
yes,
we changed his name now. No, so
yeah, exactly.
Patrick James O'Brien, right? That's his new name.
I was actually looking at our spec Boxster
right.
order right there. Sorry about that. Yes, Patrick James.
Yeah, and again, Greg, when James came by that that slower car, you're right. He had to not, and we talked about this earlier. You couldn't be on the full throttle all the way through turn 12. He had to back out of it just a little bit, and you saw the reflection of that coming down past the start-finish line, getting into turn 1.
This is going to make it very difficult as they come up to turn 7 and head onto this very long back straight here, with about now 8 car lengths or so separating them. The green 47, the Patrick James car, definitely not in the draft at this point. And I can't imagine being able to make up that kind of distance under braking going into 10A, maybe a car length, maybe 2 car lengths at best. But again, very unfortunate change of events there.
Yes.
Well, Greg, when Dick mentioned last time by on his link that he showed with 2.5 minutes, it could be because they're coming up on another car right here, Steve Combs, and I tell you what, if he gets him in the wrong spot, especially going down into 1 or in 2, that could slow him up a little bit. Depends on what that driver does, and there you go. You can see Steve Combs moving all the way over to driver's right with the accelerated speed. He's going to put that car in between them one more time.
One to go next time.
All right, so we are getting word, Brian, that our racers will get the 1-lap notification here next time by. Our lead car on track is the gray twin-turbo 996 of Stanislaw, and I'm going to try and track down where he is on course there, and that way we can let our... Yeah, we'll let everybody know. And actually, I think he's in this pack here coming out of turn 7. Onto the back straight. Good shot, Jordan. So it looks as though with this spec Boxster battle ahead of them on track, I think they may get one more lap in addition. So we'll track here as our leader, Stanislaw, now coming down the hill into turn 7, or probably into 10A and 10B.
Well, he's got David Hodges right on his back bumper there too, especially coming through those slower cars as well. So coming down the hill right here, there you go. There's Stanislaw, and then you've got David Hodges in that 41 machine.
Yeah, and that's the battle for the overall lead, not battle in class. Stanislaw running in the K class. Hodges, I believe, our sole spec 997 driver, and they're coming down side by side into turn 1, as they did have some slower traffic. And wow, what a battle there! Look at that as they're slotting underneath.
And he is, in fact, giving him the number 1.
That's right. So we are working the last lap here. And in that battle, we've got Frank Prey running 3rd overall, and then Coombs and James in the battle for the lead in spec Boxster. And again, that battle has opened up somewhat. With Coombs now almost 2 seconds up the road from Patrick James.
Yeah.
And here come our 2 leaders out of 7, Brian, here for the very last time.
Yeah, I was going to say, Greg, James Stanislaw got a good run out of there, but I think this whole lap is really kind of, hurt David Hodges when he tried to make that pass the start-finish line going into turn 1. He was all the way over driver's right. He basically had to come completely out of the throttle, had no drive off. Stanislaw ran that exact line that he needed to, and that's kind of the separation here as they come up underneath the bridge, getting ready to come down the hill.
All right, and as they come to the line, taking the overall win, separated by just 14 hundredths of a second, James Stanislaw. He's going to hold on for the win, goes flag to flag. David Hodges will finish second. Franklin Prey will come home in third, so it's a K-class car at the front. SP Spec 997, second. J-class finishing third overall, and in the battle for the win, in the Spec Boxster, coming to the line, it's going to be Steve Coombs takes the win. Margin of victory here at the end is going to be 3 seconds. Michael Gershon will finish 6th overall, takes the win in the G class. And there goes Rob Walker. He's going to finish 7th overall. He takes the win in Spec Boxster, with John Patton finishing 8th overall, your winner in SP3. Sam Amano will finish 9th, your winner in the I-Class. And then Rob Linder will finish 10th overall, 2nd in SP3. And as we have some of our other drivers coming across the line, taking the win in the H-Class will be Mark Hill. In GT4, Ron Marmol only completes 4 laps. Stu Jenkins only completing 4 laps, but your only driver in the F-Class. We just ran down in SP3, the 2 racers there. In Spec Cayman, Perry Lowry will finish in 3rd. Scott Gill only completes 3 laps to finish 4th. In Spec Boxster, we talked about Walker and O'Brien. Stephen Ryan will finish 25 seconds back from there in 3rd. Keith Olcha will finish in 4th. Ronnie Brown will round out the top 5. Albert Salvador, our sole racer in SP1. Rafael Serralta in his 1999-11, our sole racer in GT3. And Michael Gershon, I think we already mentioned Michael, your sole racer in the G class. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but before we do, let's make a final call, Dick, to the grid for our final race of the afternoon.
Purple Group, last call to the grid for your sprint race. Purple Group, last call to the grid.
All right, so we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back here with more racing action in just a few moments here at the Peach State 225 at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. We'll be right back.
OG Racing has been a national sponsor of PCA Club Racing since 1998. Headquartered in Sterling, Virginia, and staffed by PCA members and club racers, OG Racing has always carried the industry's best in racing safety equipment and performance parts. The best products from manufacturers like Sparco, OMP, Alpine Stars, helmets from Bell, Stilo, Rue, brake pads from Performance Friction, Paget and Hawk, just to name a few, and are always in stock and ready to ship from their 12,000 square foot warehouse. Give OG Racing a call or visit them at www.ogracing.com and sign up for their newsletter.
About to hit the track without coverage for your car? Buy HPDE insurance in minutes at LockedInMotorsports.com. Whether you drive a 911 or a Boxster, protect your car against physical damage during HPDE and track day events with HPD insurance from Locked In Motorsports, administered by Locked In Affinity. Coverage includes modifications you've done to your car, 2 drivers at each event, demonstration laps your instructor drives, and more. Worried about the trip home? Locked In Motorsports also offers off-track insurance for your non-licensed race car or track car while in transit, in storage, and in the paddock, plus options for your trailer, equipment, and tools. Insure your portion today at LockedInMotorsports.com.
Miller's Oils is proud to be a Porsche Club Racing sponsor and to work with Racer's Edge as their North American distributor. Miller's Oils has been blending oil since 1887 and has an extensive product line for virtually every street or racetrack application. The technology implemented in Miller's engine oil and gear oils protects the wear surfaces of your engine and gear train on a microscopic level, significantly reducing reducing friction and increasing the life of your engine and gear train. We encourage you to try Miller's and judge for yourself with the help of an oil sample analysis. As they say, the proof is in the pudding.
Narrow Escape Motorsports is an independently operated company in Charlotte, North Carolina, the product of 30-plus year Porsche Club of America members. Originally a race team, Narrow Escape Motorsports, spelled N-A-R-O, started fabricating and selling small specialty racing parts in 2012 before growing into the racing and safety parts supplier it is today. Our products and services are designed to serve you, just as they have our racing, road rally, and hill climb teams. Contact us at Narrow Escape Motorsports to shop and learn more.
Welcome back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. It's the Peach State 225 presented by the Porsche Club of America and the Peach State region of the PCA. I'm Greg Ginsberg along with Brian Donati and Dick Kelson. And we have our second and final race of the day on track. And these are for the Cup cars. Fastest cars we've got at PCA Club Racing, all of our 911 Cup cars. We had 40, actually take that back, we had 50 drivers on the nose set qualifying times earlier today. Let's run down at least a portion of them here in the starting order. Starting on the pole, qualifying time of 123.910 in his 2019 Cup car. It's Corey Friedman, and both he and our outside pole sitter, which we should have some in-car video from, is Bob Mueller. Bob's also in the GTA 3 class. He's driving the number 28 2017 GT3 Cup car. John Getz will start on the inside of row number 2. He's in the GTC 8 class. He's in the number 57 992 Cup car with Philip Leha in the number 3 machine. That's the GTC 7 pole sitter, also 991 Cup car. Kevin Roush will start 5th. Kevin's in the 960 car. He's your GTA 2 pole sitter. He's in the green, black, and white machine with Matt Holcomb in the 87 car. Also in GTC 8, starting 6th overall. He's in the silver 992 Cup car with David Ducote starting 7th. He's in the number 80 GTA 4 992 Cup car. That's the gray and green machine. John Boyette Jr. will start 8th. John's in the number 911 black 991.2 Cup car. He's in the GTC 7 class with Andres Leon starting 9th. Andres is in the 191 GTA 4 Cup. They're all Cup cars. I'm going to stop saying that, but that's the gray machine. TJ Larson's in the 103 car. TJ's racing in the GTC 6 class and starts 10th. He's in the white and blue car with Cliff Kayer starting 11th. Cliff is in the 08 red, black, and gray Cup car with Troy Peterson starting 12th. Troy's on the outside of row number 6 driving the 277 GTC 7 gray and red machine. Then we got Travis Betson. He's in the blue 991.2 machine. The 057 car starts 13th with Tom Burke starting 14th. Tom's in the 77 GTD3 White Cayman. Then we've got Mark Calzaretta in the 117 GTD3 Cayman. That's the blue machine. He starts 15th. Starting on the outside of row number 8 is Jeffrey Isringhausen. He's in the number 81 yellow 991.2 Cup car. Then we got Connor Hare. Connor's starting 17th today. He's in the number 82 machine. That's a GTD3 Cayman with Robert Wyson starting 18th. He's in the number 27 GTC7 orange, black, and white machine. And your 10th row starting 19th, driving the number 12 GTC 8 white, black, and green machine is Bryce Ford with Chris Dooley starting 20th in the number 71 GTD3 white Cayman. As our racers come down through turn 12, starter is holding off the field, and we've got one more pace lap here, ladies and gentlemen. We are not going green.
This could be interesting.
So that means our pole sitter here, Corey Friedman, along with Bob Mueller, they are going to be essentially the pace cars for this second lap of 2. Is the pace car still out? Oh, I thought it pitted. Okay.
Yes, it is. I was.
Yeah, and me. And me.
No, so, real quick, Greg, no Corey Freeman out there. He is not out there in the front two, so it looks like it's going to be Mueller and Getz. That should be your front row right there. We watched the pace car come down and kept going, keeping that same speed. They doubled up there, and the pace car driver was probably thinking, okay, where the heck did everybody go?
All right, well, tell you what, let's run down a couple more of the starters here, Brian. And not saying we're going to get the 50, but starting 21st today, driving the number 6 GTA3 2016 GT3 Cup car. That is, we're at Chapman Ducote, who's starting 21st. Then we've got Woody Richard, who is starting 22nd. He's in the 212 GTA 4 car. Jim Desario will start 23rd. He's in the number 16 GTC 7 car. That is the red and black 2018 Cup car with Nick Plasenik starting 24th. Nick's in the 141 GTC 7 machine. Stephen DiPaolo starting 25th. He's in the number 64 GTC 8 machine. That's the orange 992 Cup car with Nicholas Giguere starting 26th. Nicholas is in the 111 machine. That's the white 2018 Porsche 718 Cayman GT4S. Then we've got Brianna Ogden. We might have some in-car video from. There's Brianna driving the number 14 machine. She's in the black and pink. Also Cayman GT4 RS. We're having some issues with that in-car. We'll see if we can bring you some more a little bit later. And then we got Keith Clark starting 28th. He's in a GTC 6 machine. Starting 29th would be Ed Boss. Ed's in the number 25 GT 6 machine. That's the green and black car with Brad Weber starting 30th. And so now the lights are out on the pace car. That means the pace car should be pitting in this time. And you can see the challenge that these drivers have going side by side as they come through 10A and 10B as things tighten up. But our front two racers, they now have lined up, and it looks like a good portion of the pack here is now 2 by 2 as the pace car is on the pit lane, and the starter looks over the field, and just before they get to turn 12, green flag is in the air. So Bob Mueller in the black and white number 28 to the inside there, goes into turn 1. He's your leader, and look at this as Kevin Roush in the 960 car. He's going to try to come underneath John Getz as they go into turn number 1. We'll see if the green, white, and black 960 is able to get around the purple car of John Getz. John Boyette Jr. there as well with Cook Kayer and Jeff Isringhausen. A good start for the yellow number 81 of Isringhausen.
I'll tell you what, Greg, Kevin Roush able to get underneath John Getz as they top that hill out of 2, headed down into 3. So throw Kevin Roush in that GTA 2 machine, move him up into second overall just ahead of John Getz, and they're trying to settle themselves out all the way through the rest of this field. Now starting to get single file, but Bob Mueller, as he comes through turn 6 and then out of turn number 7, he is your overall leader in that GTA 3 car.
All right, as our field now makes their way out of turn 7 onto this very long back straight, and Mueller And we saw this at VIR, Brian, where Mueller put in like these, I don't want to call them like hero laps early on, but really started to open a gap on the rest of the field just as races were getting underway. Usually on lap number 1, he had a real good feel for the tires and just felt the grip in the back of that car, I think, much sooner than some of the other racers did. So as he makes his way around, he turns in a 1:29.0, and I should mention that is almost about 4.5 seconds off of what he qualified with, Brian. But again, a not a very fast start to start this race. Obviously, on the front straight, they started a much slower pace than the race pace here. So we'll probably see those lap times come down considerably for lap number 2.
Yeah, and again, also could be using this as a test session here, again, for this non-points race, just to try to make some changes from earlier on, using it as a practice session. You talked about Bob Mueller when we were at VIR, pretty much dominated Saturday. It wasn't until Sunday until they got into the Enduro where Corey Friedman was able to come up with that group. And the reason being is because Corey Friedman had to start middle towards the end of the pack in the group that they ran. Couldn't get through all of that traffic up in there to take one of those races. But again, I think you're going to see these laps come down because, again, on that pace lap, you're coming down out of turn 12. You're trying to stay there as long as possible before getting on the gas, not to jump the start. So this lap should be much quicker than that 1:29 flat.
Indeed here, and as he's going to come down out of turn 12, we'll track that lap time in a second. Also, everybody, this purple race, presented by David Murray Track Days, and David Murray Track Days providing testing here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, and additional track days for all of our race competitors here, and I think some on-site coaching here as well this weekend. So we want to thank them for sponsoring this race. Great battle coming through turn 12 as we jump on board right now with the Mueller machine. And if all goes wrong, Brian, at least we've got 10 hours of video that he's going to be recording for us.
We'll just dump it on the feed, and then you can watch Bob Mueller go around the racetrack.
Bob Mueller all day, every day, here from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. 10 hours of coverage.
Bob Mueller unplugged.
Exactly. All right, so with one lap in the books, Mueller only has one other racer in the GTA 3 class, and that is the Dakota car, which is running 8th overall, so quite a distance back from Bob Mueller. Again, our leader in GTA 2 now is, we just had their GTA 2 is Kevin Roush, but Roush is our sole racer in that class. Great fight coming up here in GTC 7, Brian, with John Boyette in the black Cup car, with Cliff Kayer in the red, black, gray, and white machine. They have, I think they're just coming out of turn 1, actually heading up the hill towards turn 3. Great fight there. Let's see if we can pick them up. Actually, there they are coming down the hill. It's already starting to separate out just a little bit. We also have Jeffrey Zeringhausen and Nick Placenik running 4th and 5th in that class. They were only separated by a couple tenths of a second. We'll check in with them a little bit later. Woody Richard with already a 20-second advantage over Wayne Decote with Andres Leon just now coming across the line to complete lap number 3. And Jason Phillips with a good advantage, almost 4 seconds now, over Brianna Ogden and Ray Ramirez in GTD 3.
Yeah, there you see there on that screen right there. That's Jeff Isringhausen in that yellow number 81, and then Chapman Dakota in that number 6. They've been kind of really nose to tail since the start of this race, and now Woody Richard in there. He's going to put his nose kind of up in there along with that 141 Nick Placenik. Those drivers right there have been kind of evenly matched. Again, not in the same class,
right.
With Isringhausen, Dakota, and them, but again, pretty much even cars matched right now. And again, probably just using some test sessions, and will give a lot of ground if they need to.
Although right ahead of Isringhausen in the orange, black, and white number 27. That is Robert Weisen. And Weisen and Isringhausen, that's the battle for third, I believe, GTC 7.
Are we going to a double? Are we going to a double yellow? I'm seeing a double yellow.
I'm looking down at the start stand, and
I had the yellow waving down there. I think we are. Yep, we are.
Take a look. Yep, we are going to a full course caution, Brian. Indeed, and we'll see if we can pick up where the incident is. Oh yeah, it's actually coming out of turn 1, Brian. We do have a machine off in the wall, a red cup car that went through 1 and was about a quarter of the way up the hill. Looks like it likely just understeered off track, which is very common over there. And I think it is just before where our ticker is. We just can't get it in the camera view there. Dick, were you able to get the car number on that car?
Let me double check. That's
okay.
Could that be the 64 number? The 64 car, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's so. It. Stephen DePaulo.
Yeah.
Now, well, there were 2 cars, Brian, that were getting word. Actually, yeah, I was gonna say we got word that there were 2 cars that might have gotten together over at turn 1. One of them was Stephen DePaulo in the 64 machine, but he's on the pit lane right now. Yep. DePaulo was in the orange cup car, and the red and black number 16 of Jim Dozario. He was the other driver involved, and again, the car against the wall there, red and black. So I'm going to go by what my eyes do see. Yeah, and it looks like the 64 machine is Cruz taking a quick look at it, and DePaulo is going to be heading back out on track again in that orange, the orange 64 machine. Looks like again 2 cars might have come together as they went side by side into turn 1.
Yeah.
All right, so we are under. Go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, right before you did that, when we were under full course caution, when we got through the cameras, you could see where the contact potentially was into the tire wall there, and moved it a little bit. So,
all right, so we do have the safety car out as we come down into 10A and 10B. And let's quickly take a look here as things are going to close down. And our overall leader, Bob Mueller, with John Getz, Kevin Roush, John Boyette, Cliff Kay are your top 5. Boyette and Kay are battling it out for the lead in GTC 7. And this will also bring Robert Weisen and Jeff Isringhausen back into that battle as well, as they are running 6th and 7th overall, 3rd and 4th in GTC 7. If we break things down by class, Angus Rogers, your leader in GTB1 over Kevin Sear and Francis Florido. In GTC 8, John Getz over the 63 car of DePaulo, and DePaulo being a lap down now. In GTC 7, we mentioned Boyette, Kayer, Weisen, Isringhausen, Nick Plasenik, currently running 5th in class. In GTA 4, it's Woody Witchard and Wayne DeCote with Andres Leon showing as a lap down in 3rd. In GTD 3, Jason Phillips with Brianna Ogden, Ray Ramirez. Nicholas Giguere, your leader in GTD 2 with Corey Lipka and Scott Nace running 2nd and 3rd. In we talked about GTA 3 is Bob Mueller being our overall leader. Chapman DeCote currently running in 2nd. And classes with just a single racer, GTD 1 has John Harrell. GTA 2 has Kevin Roush. And those are our single car classes here as we're under full course caution. And Brian, we as we look at this ticker, we either have 14 and a half minutes remaining, or we've got 19 and a half minutes remaining. We're not sure. When we started the race, we were showing 25 minutes on the clock. That's what we were getting from our timing and scoring team. But I'm kind of leaning towards it'll be what we saw in the last race in probably 30 minutes.
I'm not sure, but they may be thinking that that thing can drive out of there. They've pulled it out of the sand trap and to look it over now.
And it looks like I think you're right, Dick. So it looks like they're disconnected attempting the rope tow that they had on the car, although it's barely out of the gravel trap and it's still facing down the hill.
Oh, they're moving again.
Yep, there we go. So we'll see if they're going to try to get it onto the rollback, which they also dispatched over towards turn 1. While we've got a little bit of time, I wanted to fill you all in on what our schedule is tomorrow. We're going to be bringing you more racing action here from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. We go live tomorrow morning, 10:40 a.m. here on the PCA Club Racing YouTube channel, I guess the PCA YouTube channel, with the first points race for our yellow race group. We'll have shortly thereafter at 12:35, first points race for our purple group, the group that's on track currently, and then we'll do it all over again in the afternoon with a second points race for both of our race groups here.
Pardon the interruption.
Yes, Dick.
He just rolled out under his own power.
Excellent. All right, so we'll see then as that number 16 machine is going to be a number of laps down, whether or not he can continue, or we may see it come through the pit lane here, and we'll track that. But hopefully this means as the emergency services teams are starting to, well, they're waiting for the field to go through turn 1 because of the line of cars now. That's where they are, and you can see right on the screen where our emergency services teams are. They'll follow the field through, probably leave the track at the bottom of the S's over by turn 5, and hopefully we'll be able to go back to green flag racing, maybe even this next time around.
Yeah, depending on how quickly they can get down this hill once these cars go by. Yeah, Greg, we could, depending on whether or not they, let the pace car driver know, hey, slow down just a little bit, because they'll go off right there to the right or to the left of the screen. They'll go off right there. So if they get them to slow down a little bit.
It may depend on where they get the car that had possible impact off. The recovery crew has several places they can get off the track on the way.
And again, complicated a little bit by the fact that we've got 50 cars at this point with the big line here. Although that big rollback is
kind of good.
It's
a pretty good pace.
Yeah, he's holding position through there pretty darn well. I mean, it doesn't get the rotation. There we go. As he pulls off, doesn't get the rotation of a Cup car, mind you. But,
well, you never know.
But a lot of weight in the back to put the power down, though. All right, and the second vehicle is now gone by, so we're gonna see if we can get word on whether or not we've got one more lap under caution. But there's, I think, still a possibility we may go green this time by. Lights are still on the safety car as it heads down towards, they call it turn 9. It's essentially the flag station there at the top of the hill.
It looks, I'm not sure, but that may have been the car involved that just went back up into the paddock.
Yeah. All right, so
Yeah, he's on the right hand side of pit out. Now it looks like he's going to try to back down
roll
the
down
hill.
the hill.
Like trying to, yeah.
Oh.
All right, so that is now because of that car right there, and is that possibly the 141 that we saw earlier have some ignition issues?
No, that's
possibly?
the 190. That's the 191. I think
The
that's
191.
Andreas Leon there. I think.
Right. Well, 191 is the one that we had the issues with
earlier
qualifying over by turn 5. Yeah, sorry, I said 141. I meant 191. But that has kept the lights on the safety car, as the safety car is bringing Bob Mueller and the rest of the field by it right now. And what we saw during qualifying, and it was at the very end of qualifying, is that car appeared to have shut down, and he had to cycle all the electrics in it to get it back up and running. And we'll see if that car can continue. But Andres Leon in the GTA 4 992 Cup car is now showing as 2 laps down. So he had been there for a while, Brian, and we just never picked it up.
Yeah, he may have had that problem coming up over the hill. Now they're going to send the other car out there, I guess, to go drive all the way around to pick him up. You can see that. That car's getting it going down through there. Remember, we talked about that. You got to get as much speed as you can in that corner. I don't know if that truck's really going to be able to handle that corner.
Well, lots of camber there, Brian. If you hit the groove right, you can definitely carry some speed through there, as our rollback driver is showing.
He missed the apex really bad, though.
Yeah, but Dickey's got great drive off right there because he got in a little hard on the brakes.
It's all diesel torque, my friends. There you go. So they're gonna head around and try and pick up the 191 machine, it appears. So we're gonna have, at least one more lap under caution here. Well, and so now, and if he had managed to do this, I don't know, 2 laps ago, we might be green by now. But it looks like the Leon car has now rolled continues to roll back out of our way and behind the concrete wall.
If he's inside the concrete there, they may
and he is, but I think it's one, we've already dispatched the emergency services vehicles to get him. So what they will now likely do is our emergency services vehicles will most likely come down the pro pit lane, because there are, as we saw there are pits both on the inside and pit lanes both on the inside of the front straight and the outside of the front straight. We're using the pit lane on the outside of the front straight, drivers left, for this event. And you know what? Pace car is now on the pit lane, and we are going racing here as Bob Mueller takes the green flag, and we are back underway here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, there with John Getz, Kevin Roush right behind second and third, but Mueller was pretty much a shot out of the cannon as he saw the pace car come to the pit lane. He got on the throttle and just opened up 0.7 of a second, just between he and Getz there as they cross the start-finish line. That battle in GTC 7, John Boyette also got a great start. He followed Getz and Roush out from underneath the bridge, and he was able to put on almost a full second on Cliff Kayer and Robert Weisen before they ever even got to the start-finish line, Brian.
Well, I tell you what, you've got Kayer and Plasenik. That's second through fifth, along with Weisen and Isringhausen. They're nose to tail right there, coming up through turn 6, headed down into turn 7. Again, so a pretty good jump by Weisen and Isringhausen.
Yeah, great starts there to put a huge gap on the field. And as I said, again, Boyette just absolutely left Cliff Kayer behind. I mean, that probably assures his GTC 7 win here. As we'll watch here as they come under the bridge and towards turn 12. I think it's the red, black, or probably the black number 911 car just walked away from the rest of the GTC 7 field. We were just watching there, Jeff Isringhausen coming into turn 1. He's running 4th in GTC 7, right behind Robert Weisen. But I mean, it's just amazing to see this. Weisen's now almost 3 seconds behind Kayer. Kayer is almost 3 seconds between our GTC 7 leader, Boyette. I think they were maybe just caught napping just a little bit as they came underneath the bridge on that restart.
Yeah, just misanticipating when they were, going to go back to green, and I didn't think, they probably didn't think that Boyette would get the start that he got, but he ended up taking off there.
All right, so we either have, Brian, 4.5 minutes remaining on the clock, or we got 9.5 minutes remaining on the clock. If I had a stopwatch on my steering wheel, I wouldn't know which to set it at right now. But let's take a look here. Some of our other classes. Let's see, a GTA 4, Woody Witchard, currently your leader. He's got 5 seconds on Wayne DeCote. Jason Phillips with 2 seconds on Brianna Ogden in GTD 3. Nicholas Giguere almost 9 seconds already on Corey Lipka in GTD 2. And I'm going to try to see if we can pick up I'm going to try and see where they are. Battle in GTB1, Battle of the Caymans right now. Angus Rogers is starting to really separate himself out in the black, and I think he just came across the start-finish line. They're heading down in the 1 right now. Francis Florido in the white number 48 machine, Kevin Sear in the green Cayman. They'll be coming into turn 1 right there. The front 2 cars actually in that line. They are running second and third in GTB1, and then they've got Kieran O'Rourke and Peter Habestad directly behind them in the green and black. It's like the third, fourth, and fifth are all green. They're in GTB1, but again, Angus Rogers, the leader in that class, he's in the black Cayman, who we had just seen right at the front of that whole group.
Yeah, he's 3 seconds ahead of them. And then, so that's him right there. That's the Angus Rogers machine. Now there's the Florido, the Sear, and then the O'Rourke machine right there, coming now out of turn 6. So pretty good battle right here. Really, the Sear and the O'Rourke is really where, or not the Florido and the Sear is where the battle is.
Yeah, the battle for second right now between the white and the first of many green Caymans there. Although it looks as though Kieran O'Rourke has just made a pretty good move out of turn 7, starting to close things up on Kevin Sear as well. So things definitely starting to tighten up there. Is we've got looks like we've got a car that just had an issue coming out of turn 12. This is definitely going to bring out a caution. Definitely going to bring out a caution on the front straight here, and I think it's going to bring out a full course caution. Pretty heavy hit on the wall there, as you can see. And we'll try and get the number on that car here in just a moment. But Dick, we were talking about how challenging turn 12 is, and if you do drop a wheel into the grass, you can come right back across the track. And we were able to see there is only maybe a Porsche, a cup car and a half width between the edge of the track surface and the retaining wall on drivers right there, so it makes it very difficult. And that appears to be the 14 machine of Brianna Ogden in her Porsche Cayman. She was running second at the time in GTD 3, and we've got the emergency services teams out to respond, and the checkered flag is now being displayed on the race. So that will, regardless of whether or not there was 4 minutes on the clock or 9 minutes on the clock, don't think we would have been able to get this cleaned up in time to go back to green flag racing. So that's going to bring out the checkered flag. But we do have the emergency services teams on the scene, that they are responding. There is quite a bit of some debris on the front surface as well, so we've got all of our drivers staying as far drivers left as they can when they come across. But as we have our racers come across the line, we'll go and try and give the finishing order here for our classes. As I think we just had Bob Mueller and some of the front of the field now heading down towards the pit lane, as the majority of our cars now, I believe, actually all of our racers have crossed the finish line. So. Dick, if you don't mind, I'll give you the top 10 overall, and then we'll break things down by class. Here, as Bob Mueller takes the overall win in his GTA 3 machine. That's the number 28 machine. John Getz will finish second. Kevin Roush third. Getz is in GTC 8. He's your winner in that class. Kevin Roush is your GTA 2 winner. He finishes third overall. Taking the win in GTC 7 is John Boyette. He finishes fourth overall, with Cliff Kayer finishing fifth overall, second in GTC 7. Robert Weiss in third in GTC 7. Sixth overall, Jeff Isringhausen will finish fourth, just off the podium in GTC 7, seventh overall. Finishing with the win, or probably finishing second in GTA 3 is going to be Chapman Ducote, with Woody Wichard taking the win in GTA 4. He's going to finish ninth. Nick Plasenik will finish fifth in GTC 7. Fifth in GTC 7, 10th overall. In GTB 1, Francis Florido was your winner over Kevin Sear. Angus Rogers finishing in third. Kieran O'Rourke fourth, and Peter Habestad finishing in fifth. John Getz takes the win in GTC 8 with Stephen DePaulo second. We talked about the top 5 in GTC 7. We gave you the top 4 in GTC 7. Nick Placenik will finish in 5th. Woody Richard, Wayne DeCote, 1-2 in GTA 4, which we mentioned. Andres Leon finishes 7 laps down. He was the driver that had the issues on the inside coming out of turn 1 and was stuck on the exit of the pro pit exit. GTD 3, Jason Phillips with Ray Ramirez second. Brianna Ogden, of course, involved in the incident here at the end of the race, will finish in 3rd. Nicholas Jaguar takes the win in GTD 2 with Corey Lipka second. Scott Nace will finish in 3rd. Single car classes, John Harrell in GTD 1 and Kevin Roush, who finished there in the who finished, I believe, 3rd overall, your sole racer in GTA 2. All right, so gentlemen, that wraps up our first day of racing action here from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Again, we're going to be coming back to you with more racing action starting at 10:40 tomorrow morning, where we've got 2 sprint races for each of our 2 race groups. So we don't want to miss that. Any finishing thoughts here, Dick?
Oh, it was a great day right up until a few minutes ago.
All right, Brian, and how about from you?
Yeah, no, agreed. You hate to have the race end this way. I know it's a non-points race, but you hate to see that. Hopefully that's something they can get that car fixed and back out for tomorrow, but not a way we wanted to end it. But look, I'm ready to go for tomorrow.
Exactly, and we'll have more great racing action for you here from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. The Peach State 225 tomorrow morning at 10:40 a.m. Make sure to join us.
Pirelli and Porsche have been a winning combination around the racing world for years. Pirelli is proud to bring that relationship to PCA Club Racing yet again in 2025. Make sure to see the guys from Frisbee and find the right Pirelli tire for your vehicle, or check them out on the web at frisbeeracetire.com. Pirelli powers nothing without control. When you pack up from the raceway and head home on the highway, remember that the engineering excellence Michelin strives for in racing is applicable to our passenger and light truck tires too. Michelin is proud to continue its national sponsorship of Porsche Club of America and Club Racing. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Looking to decrease lap times on the track without an engine overhaul? GT Racing has a wide range of fiberglass and carbon fiber body panels, along with European Racing headers, exhaust systems to lighten your car and accelerate all the potential horsepower of your engine. Time for a change? Convert your 944 into a turbo or a 924 GT, or your 911 to a 911 RS, RSR, or 935. Talk with Joel at GT Racing. He'll help you choose the winning combination of lightweight Porsche parts and header systems to set you on the right track. GT Racing is your one-stop shop for your Porsche needs. GT Racing is a national sponsor and proudly sponsors tech inspections at PCA Club Races. GT Racing also sponsors the Best Prepared Car Award, a $100 gift certificate at each race. Call Joel at GT Racing today at 1-800-797-2911 or find us on the web at www.gt-racing.com.
Our first club racing sponsor, Porsche Cars North America, funds the club racing news and sponsors the Workers' Choice Award, considered the most prestigious award given at a club race. Thank you to PCNA for offering vital support to our club racing program.
At Hankook Tire, we strive to create a universal moment when the car and driver become one. Our aim is to develop a safer, more pleasant, and more comfortable driving experience from the moment the driver turns on the engine. Through strong braking power, smooth handling, driving comfort, and guaranteed safety, Hankook products deliver an authentic driving experience beyond mobility. Our tires provide total control of speed and direction while ensuring safety and comfort on the road. Embrace driving emotion and embrace the feel and excitement of being behind the wheel with Hankook Tire. Hankook competition tires are the perfect match of performance and longevity. Visit hankookmotorsports.com to buy today.
OG Racing has been a national sponsor of PCA Club Racing since 1998. Headquartered in Sterling, Virginia, and staffed by PCA members and club racers, OG Racing has always carried the industry's best in racing safety equipment and performance parts. The best products from manufacturers like Sparco, OMP, Alpine Stars, helmets from Bell, Stilo, Rue, brake pads from Performance Friction, Paget, and Hawk, just to name a few, and are always in stock and ready to ship from their 12,000 square foot warehouse. Give OG Racing a call or visit them at www.ogracing.com and sign up for their newsletter.
We're not just a one-off experience, we're a call to freedom. We're a place in people's minds where everyone can unleash their wild side with a passport to a world of possibilities, a spirit that breaks all the rules, uniting the famously bold and spirited essence of tequila from Mexico with the much-loved richness of peanut butter. Manibal is the bold embodiment of the party animal within us all. Here is where the ethics starts. Tequila can be purchased nationwide at manibaltequila.com.
Club Reg is a supporter of PCA Club Racing and the provider of all registration for each of our races. ClubRegistration.net is a unique service because we put all of our customers first. You can use our services for free or with a small credit card handling fee. How can you go wrong? Included with both are custom solutions tailored to meet your needs. Find out more information at ClubRegistration.net.
OG Racing has been a national sponsor of PCA Club Racing since 1998. Headquartered in Sterling, Virginia, and staffed by PCA members and club racers, OG Racing has always carried the industry's best in racing safety equipment and performance parts. The best products from manufacturers like Sparco, OMP, Alpine Stars, helmets from Bell, Stilo, Rue, brake pads from Performance Friction, Paget, and Hawk, just to name a few, and are always in stock and ready to ship from their 12,000 square foot warehouse. Give OG Racing a call or visit them at www.ogracing.com and sign up for their newsletter.
About to hit the track without coverage for your car? Buy HPDE insurance in minutes at LockedInMotorsports.com. Whether you drive a 911 or a Boxster, protect your car against physical damage during HPDE and track day events with HPD insurance from Locked In Motorsports, administered by Locked In Affinity. Coverage includes modifications you've done to your car, 2 drivers at each event, demonstration laps your instructor drives, and more. Worried about the trip home? Locked In Motorsports also offers off-track insurance for your non-licensed race car or track car while in transit, in storage, and in the paddock, plus options for your trailer, equipment, and tools. Insure your portion today at LockedInMotorsports.com.
Miller's Oils is proud to be a Porsche Club Racing sponsor and to work with Racer's Edge as their North American distributor. Miller's Oils has been blending oil since 1887 and has an extensive product line for virtually every street or racetrack application. The technology implemented in Miller's engine oil and gear oils protects the wear surfaces of your engine and gear train on a microscopic level, significantly reducing friction and increasing the life of your engine and gear train. We encourage you to try Miller's and judge for yourself with the help of an oil sample analysis. As they say, the proof is in the pudding.
Pirelli and Porsche have been a winning combination around the racing world for years. Pirelli is proud to bring that relationship to PCA Club Racing yet again in 2025. Make sure to see the guys from Frisbee and find the right Pirelli tire for your vehicle, or check them out on the web at frisbeeracetire.com. Pirelli powers nothing without control.
Based in New Jersey, Precision Motorsports, or PMR, is a supporter of club racing and a new national sponsor for 2025. From the latest Cup cars to 944 racers, PMR has supported them all here at the track. True experts in their craft and dedicated to performance. Find them on Facebook at Precision Motorsports.
New for 2025, Isringhausen will be sponsoring the GTD 1, 2, and 3 classes. Our group here at Club Racing are thrilled to have them on board. Over the past 30 years, Isringhausen has become synonymous with quality vehicles and superb service. The Isringhausen way of doing business has been one of offering excellent products at fair prices, coupled with service that goes above and beyond what anyone would expect from a typical car dealership. We believe that good service is comprised of 2 components: a willing and helpful attitude, accompanied by competency in your field. We try to support an environment where each person who works here strives to serve each customer as they wish to be served, with dignity and respect. Because of these core values, Isringhausen has become and will continue to be a leading example in the industry.
One of our latest partners, Track Day Tire, is happy to be supporting Club Racing through their Toyo, Hoosier, and Michelin tires. Use the code PCACR for a discount at checkout. The TrackDayTire.com in-house team is passionate about helping our customers extract the highest level of performance from their vehicles on the track. Decades of on-track experience has taught us purpose-designed track-use tires are arguably the single most important vehicle component that influences driver confidence to obtain maximum vehicle performance. Making it easier for our fellow track day enthusiasts to obtain confidence-inspiring tires is our goal. We look forward to providing you access to the best prices and customer support in the industry.
A household name in U.S. road racing for nearly 25 years, Toyo Tires has forged a reputation for winning, performance, and consistency. From the company's legendary Proxys RA1 to the two-groove Proxys RR, they have a history of getting drivers to the winner's circle. Their quality and performance extends beyond the track, offering owners a full line of premium tires for coupes to Cayennes. They are proud to build many of the tires right here in the United States at their state-of-the-art factory in Bartow County, Georgia. We thank them for their support of Porsche Club of America through club racing and the high-performance driver education program. Be sure to check out their contingency program if you race SP1 or Spec Boxster. To learn more about the full line of Toyo tires, visit www.toyotires.com.
Stable Energies takes pride in offering racers the very best in motorsport performance and safety equipment since 1978. Owner Bob Kikasik has been a PCA member for over 35 years and started club racing with PCA during its very first season. Located in northern New Jersey, Stable Energy stocks a wide variety of racing gear and motorsport products from top quality brands like O&P, Alpine Stars, Bell, Hans, Schroth, Paget, and Bray Kraus. Stable Energies is a master distributor for Recaro and the U.S. importer for safety devices roll cages, as well as the Eastern U.S. distributor for RSS Porsche Performance parts. You can shop with Stable Energies on their website, stableenergies.com. You can call and speak to a knowledgeable salesperson. They're happy to answer any of your questions. Or you can have one-on-one personal attention at their retail location just 10 minutes from New York City. PCA members receive special deals, so be sure to mention PCA Club Racing. Whether your fire system needs to be serviced, you need advice about a new race seater radio system, or you want to try on the coolest looking new driver suits, Stable Energies has yet covered.
Motion Control Suspension, or MCS, has proven to be the evolution of premium motorsports damper systems. Their team is continuously developing and refining damper technology that is vastly different from other manufacturers, developed through hands-on involvement in GT and touring car racing. While their roots are in the highest levels of professional sports car racing, their products excel in all environments, from enthusiastic street driving to autocross track days to club racing and far beyond. MCS is much more than just a great product. They have many years of practical racing experience both on and off the track, extensive knowledge of vehicle dynamics, and an understanding of driver expectations and needs. MCS is proud to be a sponsor of Porsche Club Racing and invites you to lean on their expertise for setup support and consultation.
Partners of club racing for over 30 years, Eurosport Porsche Road and Race is a Porsche specialty shop with 2 locations in Illinois operating since 1984. Whether you have an early air-cooled car from the 60s or Porsche's newest cup car, we can provide all your service and parts needs. We are the one-stop shop for all of your Porsche repairs and race builds with a large inventory of Porsche parts and race gear.
Apex Racing Performance, premier racing outfitters, provides racing equipment and product support to motorsports enthusiasts. A member of PCA since 1991, Clark Hammerly and his wife Linda both hold competitive racing licenses and install, use, and test the equipment they sell. This enables them to provide unbiased technical assistance on installation and use of their products. From helmets and race apparel to personal cooling and fire systems, Apex Performance also stocks performance friction brake pads for all Porsche applications. They invite you to visit their showroom in Merle's Inlet, South Carolina, shop online at www.apexperformance.net, call toll-free, or view their track schedule online. Mention PCA Club Racing to receive a discount on your next purchase.
Demon Speed Motorsports offers a full line of products for your race or track car. With their background in Porsche GT3 Cup cars, they bring the same quality and durability to the street and track replacement parts that they produce. These products include suspension links, motorsport-style center lock parts and kits, brake rotors, and wing uprights. Now, Good Arrow Wings and RacingTireWarmers.com are part of the Demon Speed family. With this, they now offer Good Arrow Wings with mounting solutions for most Porsche models. Racing Tire Warmers offer tire warmers to custom fit your race car to make you faster and safer on track. To learn more about Demon Speed Motorsports and see their great products, visit them at www.demonspeedmotorsports.com.
Trailix Trailer sets the standard for super lightweight, superior craftsmanship, and extraordinary quality. If you need a trailer, whether it be enclosed or open, to tow your Porsche, Trailix should be your first and only choice. Trailix has many sizes to fit your Porsche perfectly, and their unique touches ensure that your trailer will be as functional as it is beautiful. Trailix Trailers sponsors the Novice Racer Award, a gift certificate given to the second-time racer who exemplifies the club racing spirit.
With hundreds of new vehicles in stock, Hennessy Porsche is an exclusive manufacturer partner, allowing an unparalleled amount of personalization when ordering a new Porsche. Hennessy is also a Porsche Classic partner, guaranteeing factory-authorized service performed by certified master technicians on all vintages of Porsches, both street and race cars. Visit HennessyPorsche.com to learn more. Are you looking for next-level track days? David Murray Track Days offers experienced drivers the chance to participate in low car count open track format events. DMTD has 21 two-day events scheduled at 7 tracks this year. Many events precede PCA Club races, offering you more quality practice time and coaching opportunities. They cater to experienced drivers that range from solo HPDE drivers that are comfortable in traffic to pro drivers and teams testing for upcoming races. Go to davidmurray.com for a full schedule and more information.
Narrow Escape Motorsports is an independently operated company in Charlotte, North Carolina, the product of 30-plus year Porsche Club of America members. Originally a race team, Narrow Escape Motorsports, spelled N-A-R-O, started fabricating and selling small specialty racing parts in 2012 before growing into the racing and safety parts supplier it is today. Our products and services are designed to serve you, just as they have our racing, road rally, and hill climb teams. Contact us at Narrow Escape Motorsports to shop and learn more.
Conveniently located on the northeast side of Atlanta, Porsche Atlanta Perimeter is the area's premier Porsche dealership, offering new and pre-owned vehicles. Whether you're looking for an all-electric vehicle like a Macan or a Taycan, a track-ready 911 GT3, or anything in between, Porsche Atlanta Perimeter is a family-owned Porsche center focused on customer service. To view our inventory and learn more, please visit PorscheAtlantaPerimeter.com.